And Eric.
And Dr. Aggro.
And welcome to the GigaBoots Podcast E3 2016 wrap-up.
Whoa, put it in a wrap. Call it a salad. Let's eat it. Yeah.
A wrap salad?
Wrap salad.
You're a bad person.
Wrap salad sounds like the shittiest genre of music ever created.
What rhymes with crouton?
Futon.
Still a bad person.
How about
A futon.
Anyway,
How about photon?
so E3 happened.
E3 did happen, and it happened to all of us.
It
we
happened
all
to
passed
all of us
through the E3
in a
and
very
it through
personal way.
us. We did our usual thing. For those who don't know, maybe you're new GigaBoots fans, maybe you don't know who the fuck you're looking at. I'm Dan fucking Video Games, and every
I have
year,
asked you repeatedly to not call yourself
And
that.
I hold a party at other people's houses.
fine, Dan F Video Games, and every year we do an E3 party where it's a non-stop thing, all 3 days in a row, so that way we can watch all the conferences uninterrupted and have the food supplied, so we don't have to leave the TV screen.
Indeed.
We also play a lot of Tetris and Smash. That was pretty good.
And watch Danger 5.
And watch Danger 5, which is incredible, and you should watch that after you watch all of this. So, E3. It sure did happen. Last year was considered the E3 of dreams because of
dreams.
Sony's conference.
It was amazing.
It is ubiquitous. Everyone refers to it like that. It's
Because we didn't know better.
Shenmue 3 happened.
Kind
it
of.
was a confluence
Kind
of
of.
events that
It was the Kickstarter.
PlayStation
It kind of sullies the dream, right?
capitalized on. They were like, oh shit, all this is coming out soonish?
Right?
Let's put it in a
Looking
conference.
back,
Or
Shenmue 3 happened. Kind of. The Final Fantasy remake happened.
Kind of.
Maybe.
Looking at the rest of the comments, we're like, we'll take it.
Final Fantasy VII was so of the moment that the guy who's developing it found out that he was doing it when it was announced.
But you cried. You know you did.
You cried, you
Don't
shouted,
lie.
you fucked your
I don't
parents.
even like Final Fantasy VII. I shit myself and cried into those shit pants.
I don't know how you celebrate joy. I don't do one of those things you listed.
That's what still gets me about E3 last year. I don't even like I don't like Final Fantasy VII.
Now there's video evidence.
You can't say that.
I was
on the
still
internet.
excited about it.
Yeah, but a lot of those things from last year weren't really for me.
The only thing that
Like,
really
and this
made
is
it,
what me and Bob talked
Let me
about.
say
It was
this.
like last year was the E3 of dreams, but none of those were my dreams.
the E3 of Dreams was contained only to the quality of PlayStation's conference. This year it was a bit better spread out, but PlayStation still had the most dreams.
I don't know about.
Like,
I'm looking at this list and it's
Right.
kind of. But in any case,
Sony's conference last year was objectively good. Their conference this year was good for things that I care about.
right,
fair.
right.
I mean, I will agree to
what
that.
we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the conferences one at a time. We're doing EA, Bethesda, Microsoft, Ubisoft, and then Sony, as it was chronologically ordered.
What about
so that
the
way
PC
you can,
show?
As it was chronologically ordered, so that way you can experience the ride with us, even if you already experienced that ride. So let's start with EA. This won't take long. So hey guys, there was one cool thing announced at EA.
It's true.
It's one of the first things. Titanfall 2.
Yeah, it looked great.
That game looks a lot better than last time. It looks like it belongs in this gen. There's a single-player trailer and a multiplayer trailer.
I feel bad about how the single player went.
Yeah.
Because like Titanfall 2 came out, everybody was like, why doesn't it have a multiplayer? And that was the same crowd that's like, why isn't every game that comes out exactly the game that I wanted it to be?
Yeah.
And because it's the same crowd that's like, why is this game not 40 hours long? And I'm really
Yeah.
getting tired of those fuckers.
But the difference here is that Titanfall really felt hollow. Like, there wasn't much to do in the game. I actually owned it on PC for a bit.
they did have a fake ass first player in Titanfall 1.
Yes, and
That did feel bad.
and relied
That was
on,
awful.
And it relied on matchmaking. And when it couldn't find enough people for the right level, you had to redo some levels.
Right? It wasn't even like play some bot levels. No, it was just like play the multiplayer, except we're lying.
It's a level. Yeah. Titanfall 1 was rough. This looks like the game Titanfall 1 was meant to be, because Titanfall 1 was supposed to have a single player.
It was
Titanfall
meant
1
to be Last Guardian.
Yep. It looks like Last Guardian, you guys. But no, it's cool because they have some single player stuff just from a combat perspective that looks cool, and also I like the narrative in the universe they're building up there. There's a fucking photon cannon, Iron Man style, and the goddamn Titanfall mech.
Can we talk about it's slightly both the year of the axe and year of the grapple hook.
Yes.
That grapple hook where he like grapples into another man and karate kicks him.
Yeah, so that makes getting
midair?
into your Titanfall and getting elevated, getting higher in the level way, way easier. And they showed it wasn't just you shoot a thing and then you go straight towards it. There's also you can shoot a thing and then swing around. And also when you aim in midair, you'll get jet boost coming out of the sides of you to stabilize you for a shot. It was all very good.
Yeah.
They're really capitalizing on the mobility of Titanfall.
Because that's the difference between
wall running,
Call of Duty
jumping.
and Titanfall.
Yeah.
Call of Duty added wall running. It added some things that Titanfall had, but it didn't feel fluid. And I'm really glad they made another fucking Titanfall.
Absolutely.
Like, it
doesn't
looks way better.
doesn't hurt that in the single player trailer, the Titanfall, the Titan does a fastball special with your body, goes, "Trust me, human," and tosses you into space.
Yeah, that
Superman.
is cool. That's a really cool angle for a story.
It's
to
great.
build a story out of instead of just, war. We have to go shoot these guys who aren't us.
Like I said to the trailer, like, wait, we invented giant battle mechs with sentient AI, and then put humans in them?
Yep. Nah,
They
it's good.
didn't eat them.
And this game may answer why, because apparently the first thing they fucking do is go rogue.
Yeah.
It's the thing we expect. We knew it would happen.
So that looked really cool.
Yeah, it was the
rest of
I'd
this
say
conference-
probably the highlight.
Yes. No, definitely.
Yeah,
the rest of
most-
this conference was really
Most
lit.
of the rest of EA's conference was, we've got a bunch of studios, they are all making Star Wars games.
Yeah, there was a whole
Get
part
ready for the shotgun.
whole part dedicated to that. Like 5 studios, 6 studios where they're like, Visceral's working on it. Respawn Entertainment Titanfall people are working on it.
Volition.
Amy Hennig is going to come out to be like, we're working on
Amy
it.
Hennig's like, I've been trying to make this fucking Boba Fett Uncharted game for 5 years.
Help me. Please. They won't let me out. But the thing that kills me is Mass Effect was shown, and it has a guy
yeah,
drawing on a
Andromeda.
Cintiq tablet. And he's just like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
drawing this thing. And then the Star Wars thing is the same sort of shot of a dude drawing on a Cintiq tablet, but BB-8 is
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah,
Dan, there's a
that's-
crucial difference.
That's how you show the people that are making games. They're drawing on tablets.
You know what
really,
helps?
there's no better way to show that these days.
Which is sad, because it's like, if you made enough game to make a trailer out of, you could show that.
Yeah, no.
But Dan, it's E3.
It's
Dude,
like
what do you
if
think? Is this the
E-
PlayStation conference?
E3 doesn't care how far along you are. E3 shows up, kicks in the door, and yells, "Progress report!"
it does.
And if all you've got is, we have directed all of these studios to make Star Wars games, then it's time to film some motherfucker drawing on a tablet.
Yeah. Fucking EA is the kid that overnighted his fucking science fair project every year, 3 years
And
in a
ask
row.
his
I
dad
did
to
that.
help.
Got a C, passed biology. Levers.
So,
Electromagnets.
we also had the showing of the indie game FE.
Oh, that was kind of neat. I was pretty okay. I was not hyped.
Describe
but,
it.
Like,
Yeah, I don't remember.
it involved a squirrel-like raccoon creature on a thing dealing with the world in a kind of weird, super polygonal environment, dealing with predators and so on and so
What
forth.
was the main gameplay mechanic they showed?
Existing
3D platformer.
3D platformer.
It was not exciting.
It wasn't exciting. It was
I don't
like
know.
I would play that, but I wasn't like I need to play that.
Like I said, I don't remember well enough to.
It was kind of like, I saw that and went, okay, that seems like when I checked the PlayStation Store, and it's like, look at these games that came out, I guess.
yeah.
It felt like a token indie game.
Yeah.
Which, like, I feel bad because I'm like, I don't know how good you are, but it's weird that you're here.
Well, like, the thing is, you know how you just said it felt like a token indie game? That's kind of how EA presented it. They were like, remember last year when we showed you blah? Well, this year we're going to show you this thing we found.
We found it. What was this?
What was it last year?
Shit.
It was something Yarny.
Yarny.
Yarny
yeah,
had more impact.
Oh,
They
yeah.
really- they
These
talk-
guys are also
They
Norwegian.
talked up Yarny too, and
Yeah,
like this
they were like, "Yarny's so
another
great."
thing like that.
Just like we showed you Yarny, we're now showing you this other thing. And
Honestly,
I'm like,
Sure, great.
I spent 2 days not calling the game Iron.
I know.
Did-
F.E. Ferrick. I just...
What was the company that opened up its own, like, was it EA? Was it EA? Where it was like, we're opening up like an indie support network, basically, or indie studio thing that supports indie people?
Could have been EA.
I think a lot of people say that a lot.
Like a Sony Searchlight kind of thing, where like we're supporting, this is the thing that funds indies to make for EA.
Right. Like how Sony has the pub fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. It's a smart thing. Worked out for Sony so far.
Yeah.
Except for when Sony
Again,
Santa
I'm not
Monica,
shitting on the game. It's just like, okay, great, it exists.
except for
but
when
I'm not
Sony
super
Santa
hyped
Monica
for it.
sort of chews up an indie studio, which they've done 3 times by now, and it's getting really fucking scary.
A little bit.
They did it with Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
No.
They did it with shit. What's the name of the one in the desert?
Journey.
I was like, flower.
did
Shit,
they?
this third one doesn't have flow in the name.
Did they eat that company?
Flow
Yeah.
from the progressive
That thing
commercials.
imploded. The Everybody's Gone to the Rapture imploded, and some third thing which I can't even remember. Same scenario, and all 3 of them worked with Sony Santa Monica.
Was it
as-
Dear Esther?
No, that would have been funny. We just
Was
wanted
it-
to port the fucking game to their platform, and they came in and kicked us in the teeth.
Was it Undergarden?
No, can we never mention that?
No.
Let's do that thing where we never mention Undergarden again.
You motherfucker! We watched it because of you the other day.
Hey, I'm not here to place blame on why we watched the Undergarden quick play.
That's because you are the blame. You can't place. Well, I guess you can place the thing on yourself, but you
Fucking talk to me about verb conjugation.
Who do you think I am?
I'm
Okay,
sitting
what-
next to a guy who went to word college.
that makes you somehow better.
Yes.
I am also sitting next.
It's
to
called the transitive normative case.
It says so on my certificate.
If you're interested
And
in
I'm better than other people.
what the fuck Undergarden is, feel free to look up that quick play.
You have been warned.
Hey, idiot! If you're interested, that was it for EA.
I mean,
There was also sports,
sports.
but no one cared.
they showed us in Battlefield 1.
There was like
Oh, right. I
Oh
skipped
yeah,
over that.
They showed the first 12 seconds of the Battlefield 1 trailer, then talked
Stopped
about
it.
how Battlefield 1 was a game.
And then
played
also
it-
said, we're going to show you the rest of that trailer in a second. Blah,
And
blah,
then-
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then they start from the beginning again.
Yeah.
Like every year, more and more, it's getting to be like, guys, you saw Sony's conference last year. You know how to do this. Play the trailer, play the trailer, play the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The divide between everyone else's conference and Sony's is fucking massive.
The gap is widening. They don't quite understand the lessons Sony's teaching.
Now we get to what might...
Although I will say that the FIFA story mode made us all make the joke of its Spike Lee joint.
Right, because of that
Honestly-
fucking basketball game.
Yeah.
I felt like the one in the room, the other one in the room being like, this isn't dumb, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, if
it
it's
could be.
handled well, it could be
Yeah.
cool. And at first, when I heard that basketball thing described to me, what was it,
Yeah, it
NBA 2K16?
Yeah, it was cool.
I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. And then I hear about how it goes, like the dialogue and how they beat you over the head with a moral. And it's like,
Yep.
my God.
It's even a confused moral.
I mean,
Like,
it's a sports story. I don't expect subtlety.
Right. That's fair.
we've seen sports movies.
That's what I was saying the day. I'm like, this is what sports movies do. Why are you surprised sports games want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense from that aspect. But anything else about EA strike
Not
out
really,
to
no.
you?
Just the
No.
Oh, right. We forgot to mention Battlefield 1. So they show the trailer a bit, and then they show the trailer
God.
again.
Oh.
And then they end the whole conference
Oh.
with some obnoxious YouTube fuck. Some
no.
fucking YouTuber sitting there and doing a giant intro for an hour-long live stream battle
64
with a bunch
members.
of with
celebrities.
a
Jamie
bunch of
Foxx,
celebrities.
Zac Efron, Terry
Dogg,
Crews,
and
Snoop
Terry
Dogg.
Crews.
Wiz Khalifa.
How much money?
Terry Crews, he's cool.
Yeah.
When you outdo Microsoft for money hatting at an E3,
It's impressive.
you've got a
Those money
problem.
hats you could see from space. They're like, just put people in here.
The
But-
biggest sombrero.
I mean,
ever made.
speaking of weird ass conferences that Microsoft does, is Ubisoft next?
Yes.
Because
Wait,
we-
no.
Oh, okay.
Bethesda's next.
Wait for it.
Oh, Bethesda.
Yeah, because we have to talk about the pre-day before we talk about the pre-day.
I mean, Bethesda.
It was okay.
Let's talk about Bethesda.
Bethesda was unoffensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed some stuff.
Inoffensive.
Moving on. Bethesda talked about Quake Champions.
I am an
No,
English
later.
teacher
We're
for
gonna
a
talk
living.
about that later.
Where I am an English teacher for a living.
Octopode. We're going to talk about that later.
But
So
that's just
Bethesda
conference.
talk about Quake Champions.
Yes.
They played a CG trailer for it.
Yes.
Said they would talk about it more at QuakeCon, which is the most sensical sentence I've ever heard.
We're going to talk
Well, I mean,
about it in
it's-
our own
it's
masturbatory
old-
party con.
Yes.
Well, we're going to talk about
exactly.
Masturbatory Game at Masturbatory Con.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly.
It's old school id properties. They're like, no, we know who's going to play this. We know where they're going to go for
Yeah,
it.
they didn't even announce it being multi-platform. They're like, it's on PC. It's a competitive shooter. It's
Yeah, like we're
what you
Bethesda,
expect.
we're remaking Quake.
One
We
of the-
know who's going to buy it.
One of the best things I've seen in response to the Bethesda announcing stuff is that when they talked about Doom stuff, it's all multiplayer stuff. It's packs, it's weapons, it's new maps, it's
they're
snap map
continuing
stuff.
the experience.
Almost every like YouTuber or commenter I've seen talking about the conference, like, but we want story shit, you morons! Like, that's amazing.
That's how a lot of people view Bethesda. Because
Yeah.
they make Skyrim.
Well,
Speaking of
but
they
just
make
because-
Skyrim,
Just because Doom's single player mode was infinitely superior to their multiplayer mode. Everyone's like, give
that
us more
seems to be
story.
everyone's opinion. I honestly like the multiplayer. They're adding free for all,
I mean, it's
which
not to
is
say it's not
important because
bad,
Doom.
but everyone loved that single player.
Yeah, I get that. But Doom lacked free for all when it came out, which was the weirdest thing. I thought the beta just had team because, you limit how many modes there are so you can figure out certain things. I also thought that about the maps, where I was like, certainly the final game will have
free for all.
It didn't have free for all. It was just team deathmatch.
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird for
I prefer
Doom.
team deathmatch.
Uh,
Like every
know.
time we have a LAN, I know Dan's like, let's do regular deathmatch so I can show how much better I am at than all of you scrubs. And I'm like, can we do?
this is nowhere near accurate.
It absolutely is.
No, it isn't.
I was thinking of this out of the room, like, can we do some kind of like zone or objective based map where I can strategically lead a team to victory? No, we're doing deathmatch again.
Let's play
Or I
Puyo
will
Puyo
suck.
Tetris. I'll play Puyo Puyo. I'm sure this will be different from all the other 8,000 times we played this game.
I haven't played the new Doom.
Neither have I.
We're still in the week because I know they announced that the first level is up for a demo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
They
is
referenced their shareware. It was like,
radically old school and possible because of how new school shit is.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm probably gonna get that, and then probably gonna buy Doom.
Yeah. Best first 10 second or 10 minutes to a video game ever.
Yeah,
also first 10
like I
seconds.
remember the trailers. I'm like, if they made Doom, and like if they made Doom by making Doom,
Yeah.
I am super down for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, if people are clamoring make more story because it's Doom,
Well, they just want more single player mode
And
because
not-
they loved it.
Killzone Shadowfall.
No, they want more story because the story is almost irrelevant even to the Doom Marine. They just want more single player mode because it was so well constructed.
Well, don't they? They have a because like even original Doom had like a level editor. It was like super simplified. They put
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
They've got a thing now. They announced over E3. Where,
Yeah,
where,
the snap map is going to
yeah,
support
snap map, that's what it's called.
some truly single
yeah, so
player
you can make
things,
single player maps.
Yeah.
which is good because that's all I want to do with a level creator.
Yeah,
Um,
and see, like Mario level creator, I'm like, these guys are gonna make unwinnable shit. I don't want to play that. Doom level creator, make the unwinnable shit. I want to die to that.
yeah. It seems really good. I honestly like everything they announced for Doom. Free for all was definitely lacking.
seems good.
New maps seems good.
Yeah.
The design of the new maps looked really cool.
Yeah.
So like Doom, I'm like, I'm gonna play the shit out of that. Just not yet.
I do remember a complaint about Snap Map was that there was no hell template, and now there's a hell template. They
Yes.
never announced that.
Yes, because it was just outer space place, and it's like that's not
Space is the place.
apparently.
I mean, yeah, but it's also sometimes boring.
So yeah, that was cool. They also have a new demon form because of how the multiplayer
Sure.
works. You can. Oh, I think Bob's here.
A challenger approaches.
Hi, Bob. Bob, you made it just in time for us to talk about your your true excitement from the Bethesda conference, which was the Elder Scrolls card
And I
game.
could feel,
Wow.
I could feel the enthusiasm radiating off you like a heat
like flames
while we were watching it.
Flames on the side of your face.
Full disclosure, I watched the Bethesda conference after it, like after the stream, like I watched it. Mm-hmm. I fell asleep for parts of it. Understandable.
Well, you don't remember a Bethesda
this
an Elder
was one
Scrolls
of them.
card game,
No, I remember they were announcing that.
and then you remember the next thing.
And I remember
No.
a dream about running a tire store.
I imagine you're excited about it retroactively
I
because you
didn't-
only just yesterday or today started The Witcher 3. They're like, Gwent, holy shit!
Is that not the same game they showed last year that's already out and they were announcing something more for it? Or was that actually something
What
new?
I perceived during that stream.
Did you mean
I'm not
Gwent,
saying
or-
this is absolute.
Gwent
No,
standalone.
no.
I know
that
that.
is a different fucking
That's
thing.
not Bethesda.
That's not Bethesda
They
at all.
don't own anything that good.
So in any case.
Wait. Who was
So
that?
in any case, we'll get to it. It's on the fucking list.
Shit, when was that?
That was yesterday. What?
With
2
all
days
your
ago.
troubles seem
Whatever.
so far away.
In any case, as far as I perceived from the conference itself,
this
it
specific
seemed to
case.
be announcing that, like, oh, it's further along because it looked more polished than it did last
Okay.
year.
I figured they actually just launched it and no
I
one
was
noticed.
thinking of the Elder Scrolls.
That is
card
entirely
game.
possible. That's what Battle Cry
talking
would have
about.
done.
Right?
That's what we're
Battle
talking
Cry
about.
is a real game, right?
Can I apologize to everyone because I was thinking of the Elder Scrolls card game? I'm really, really sorry. I'm so dumb.
We are talking about that, though.
Yeah.
I know. I thought we were, for whatever reason, my wires
thought we were
crossed. and I was
talking
like,
about Gwent.
Gwent's a thing, right? And I was
Somebody
like,
said Gwent.
Yep.
Yeah, it
So
was
in
him.
any case,
It was me.
yeah,
And I commented
yet
on my
again,
own
the
self.
only thing to talk about with that is it looks like Hearthstone, but even more Magic the Gathering art style.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
I'm sure there are
it's a card
different
game.
rules that make
I
it
don't-
dynamic and interesting.
I don't
but
feel bad for having fallen asleep during that because
Isn't that what that part was there for?
They
that's
even-
a niche.
Everyone needs a break now. Nap time, everyone. Blankets in the crowd.
Yes, except
Card-
for that one yelling lady.
Card
God,
games
I forgot
is
about
not
her.
like video games. You can't have two that are really similar and both have their fan. No.
I
The
mean,
niche
They're
is
more
filled.
like they're more like MOBAs where you find one you like and you stay.
and you look at the other 7 that came out this week and go, Jesus.
Like the fact that Hex is still running is amazing to me.
Yes.
Because like Wizards tried to sue him because they're like, this is clearly a Magic the Gathering, and their defense was, well, yeah, but you can't be the only ones to do that.
And then Wizards of the Coast just goes, are they right? Their legal team's like, I don't know.
Lost on Steam, so
Yeah.
clearly they were.
But Tyrant exists. The congregate collectible card trading game.
I'm stopping him there, and we're moving on to Fallout
Thank you.
4 DLC.
Thank you. I was expecting you
They
to
showed
stop
a
me.
video where there were things that aren't in the game currently that you could get for money.
You could make a Rube Goldberg machine with the new DLC.
You can
What is-
create your own vault and run experiments on it, which I imagine Fallout players are super excited about.
Yeah, because they're sick mofos.
Yes.
Did they say if this was the last expansion, or do we know that?
I don't think
don't
they said
know.
the last one. They just said they were working on more stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
how many have come out? I only know of
At
one.
least 3.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, because there was
There's-
Automatron, there was some other buildy thing, and there was like
Yeah, Far Harbor just-
Far
Far
Harbor.
Yeah.
Far
Oh my God,
Harbor
Far Harbor did just come out.
almost got me to buy that game.
And then they talked about Fallout Shelter and how they were adding things to it.
Mm-hmm.
But since most people hit that game, stayed with it hard for a few days, and then sort of fell off, I'm not sure if this will have an impact.
That
It is
game's
coming to
got some
PC.
super fans.
It is coming to PC though, and with
Oh,
an
that's
expansion.
right.
yeah?
They did announce
Yeah, yeah.
that was coming out on
Okay.
PC.
'Cause, like, I did love that they had an expansion for
Why? What is
Shelter.
Skyrim Shelter?
I don't know.
They had an expansion for Shelter, and they had Fallout Shelter as an expansion for the regular game.
Yeah, they did. Was yeah.
No, it's not. It's not Skyrim Shelter. You fucking plebe. It's The Elder Scrolls : Shelter.
Can it be in
based,
Skyrim?
No, it's based on Daggerfall.
I don't care. No,
That is the
me.
correct
It's
reaction.
about escaping from prison like you do in every single Elder Scrolls game.
and then forming a tribe that you have to maintain
Yes.
in
the
some
first
sort of
per-
shelter.
The first person you talk to isn't actually Patrick Stewart this time.
Patrick Swayze.
That's impressive.
Back from the dead.
30 stories high.
Swayze! It's Swayze!
And
Swayzuki?
Suzuki.
He's like, you are the bouncers. I am the cooler.
So, we already talked about Doom with its free-for-all and new multiplayer maps and new demon form. Just real quick, wanted to get Bob's opinion on that. Did that excite you at all?
Did it do it hard enough?
Did it?
Are you spooked?
Did you beat Doom?
What?
Was
You
it
beat-
too spooky for you?
What?
What?
Yeah, you beat Doom,
I
right?
beat Doom.
Yeah,
Cool.
he beat
Okay.
Doom.
But I want more single player
Exactly.
stuff. No
For the
one really
skeleton
wants.
war.
That's what I was saying before.
Yeah, nobody really wants all that extra multiplayer stuff.
How many Skelly Mans out of 5?
It's... Is that the GigaBoots scale now?
Or is that just for Doom?
Dude. Come on, fuckboy.
Newt.
The reversible cover for that game, didn't it have a cool?
Yeah, it had a like classic Doom look to it, and it was nice.
And it was nice, unlike the normal cover, which is obese Master Chief.
Which is
Wait, that
finally
sounds
not
cool.
nice.
I'm down for that.
Miss Master Pork Chops.
I need a lamb shake.
Master double pounder.
Master Chief, no. He eats so much he goes into stasis.
Speaking as a man that has eaten a double hamburger whose bun was 2 grilled cheese sandwiches,
That's fucked up.
That's obvious.
I want to know how fat of a guy you can stuff in Spartan armor and have it still function accurately.
Well, they are 800 pounds or something.
You feel that Spartan archer bursting.
Ask your brother,
He's about
he
to
knows.
My brother does know.
explode out of that suit.
So what were we actually talking
we
about?
were talking about Doom, and well, my point was when he brought it up earlier and he expressed that opinion is like, I was excited about. I actually liked Doom's multiplayer.
Right.
I just when it launched and it didn't have free for all, that killed it for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is fucking
I don't-
Doom, right?
I mean, it
Because
could be
being an
not
unrepentant
having-
psychopath, Dan doesn't like teamwork or objective-based modes.
no, I played enough MOBAs to have that part of me carved out.
Dan likes to bathe in the blood of his enemies and to know that his victory means that someone else
It's
is
sad.
worse.
Yeah.
And you know that the purpose of other human beings on your team is to let you down.
I have walked into this room and seen him licking his monitor, whispering, "Beneath me."
That's not entirely true.
It's not entirely untrue.
You decide.
We're just
But yeah,
asking
that was my main thought
I don't
there.
know,
The new
again-
maps look cool.
They do.
Like, those
my
look
sentiment
cooler
wasn't
than-
that the multiplayer was completely bad, that more people were psyched about more single-player content because
Like,
it was
yeah,
so well
Bob's
constructed.
sentiment
Right,
is
we-
the
Yeah.
and we already kind of knew that this was the case, though. Like, the
Right.
minute they sold the season pass, is just multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, it's stressed out.
I'm not surprised
Yeah.
that they aren't working on
you-
that.
you-
They're probably,
you boost
I
up
wouldn't
what's
be
your
too surprised
weakest
if they're
link.
working on Doom 2 instead of just doing expansions.
I'm
Which is
just-
better.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated
I'd rather
by what
have
the
it
plot
full.
could be. Like, you're a space marine, portal to hell.
You should play Doom's story. It's
What
pretty
do you
good.
follow that up
Let
with?
me just
Is it? Like,
let
did
me
they
just
actually effort that?
check this out. Not only is the Doom Marine deified in this game as some fucking artifact they extracted from hell, basically, but he is a constant force against narrative. Because every time this asshole tries to interrupt the game with talking, you smash the monitor his goddamn voice is coming out of. This game is
I
brilliant.
need to go.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you
need
do.
to stop playing The Witcher. I need to download Doom.
You do. Holy
It
shit.
is so amazing. The first 10 minutes, seriously, best first 10 minutes in any game.
and best
probably
opening
ever.
10 seconds of anything.
Most pornos don't even get to the point
I
of
played Homefront.
buff
That was
dude,
pretty
dude.
amazing. In its first 10 seconds.
The first 10
My
seconds of
emotional
Homefront
reaction
was you
was-
screaming.
It was a potent emotional response.
We recorded that, right?
We did.
Okay.
and it's up. And he pulled it up earlier because yet again, you make us relive things.
Thanks
Oh.
for Undergarden.
The rest of it was like enhanced Skyrim.
Whoa,
and
hey,
other Elder
I got
Scrolls
this
things.
list here. We're trying to.
Yeah, what else we got?
Well, apparently they announced the Skyrim Special Edition.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
with mods.
I saw the best description of this was a picture I saw of a soda fountain machine. And there were two things for water. One of them was just plain blue, and the other one was water blue.
Yeah.
It was like,
Skyrim with mods.
Yep.
yep, Skyrim Special Edition. It really doesn't look
it's
at.
console, so we're not getting the nude mods.
So we're not getting mods.
But I assume
Right.
we're getting like the Thomas the Tank Engine skins for the Dragon
Can
mods.
only hope. You can only hope Macho Man Randy Savage is gonna
Oh
swoop
yeah!
in.
I still
Right.
cannot decide whether the Thomas the Tank Engine or the Fluttershy Dragon mods are more deeply horrifying. Because Thomas the Tank, his face, but then like the Fluttershy ones with extended necks and their tails in the
yeah.
wind. Yay!
Yeah, that's weird.
It's a
That's all
toss
weird.
up. I don't know.
I'm interested in how this mod stuff's gonna work out on consoles.
Yeah, I mean it's up on the one for Fallout already.
It's true.
Like
which is-
Xbox One, yeah.
Because
Right.
it's like limited mods. I don't know what the vetting process for that is at all.
No idea.
Yeah.
I don't know
they-
if they just like go to Steam and go, how many upvotes? Okay, put it on console.
They have mentioned that it will support older mods, so it's not going to be like you need to make a mod especially for special editions.
Like it's not a build thing where you have to recompile. It just
So I can get the
It
one that
supports
turns
it?
all
Now-
like reskins all the spiders as bears. Because apparently that's less. horrifying.
I don't know. I've seen those. If I see a bear drop from the ceiling,
Like a drop bear.
like a drop.
I don't know. Do they even drop from the ceiling in Skyrim? Like,
I mean, spiders.
I think
do.
they mostly
Yeah, no,
just
do
fill
that.
the hallway
Because
they're the size of the hallway.
I feel like nothing really reacts properly in Skyrim, so they're probably just spawned in on the ground. I feel like that's the way every single
I
enemy
played
was.
Skyrim on PS3, and I remember trying to get to Solitude, and it's like, no, don't go in the water. The game will crash.
I do
So
know.
I'm looking forward to the special edition.
I do know that if you have like the legendary edition of Skyrim, that you get the new updated version for free.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That is a cool thing. Like, if you have enough DLC,
Although, if
you just get it.
if you have a PC version with all that stuff, chances are you've already modded to look better than what they were doing.
You already have the
It's
enhanced
true.
vision.
And you've had it for 3 years
Or you're
now.
that asshole who downloaded the mod to make it look like Minecraft.
Yep.
Either way, you know?
It's still better.
Anyway,
You modded the dragon to have tits.
What else did we have?
Because who wouldn't?
They talked about Elder Scrolls
Are
Online.
you not American, Eric?
show of hands, who wouldn't do that?
I don't see no hands.
Why did we film this? I don't. There's so many.
Somebody out there is making a Dragon Half reference at
There are
his computer,
such sights
looking around and
to
realizing he doesn't have any friends. Because people who still make Dragon Half references
Don't have
do not have friends.
No.
Do you want to borrow it?
Yes.
Fucking.
Friend.
He's trying to get rid of us.
Dude, okay, I know that we're skipping the what we played section, but recently I platinumed Dark Souls and loaned it to someone else. And I went on Twitter, I'm finally free. I don't have to think or play Dark Souls again. And this motherfucker was like, you want to borrow my copy? Fuck off!
Look, he might
Would you
need
also
it.
like to borrow Dragon Half?
It's a little bit better.
Okay.
I'm not bitter. We're still such good friends. Good friends.
Anyway.
But yeah, they also talked about Elder Scrolls Online. They talked about an expansion thing called the Dark Brotherhood. I don't know if that was newly announced or whatever.
They
but
made
either
it-
way,
yeah.
ESO's pretty uninteresting.
Right.
Basically, every human being I've ever known that played it went, "This isn't Skyrim."
Every other person I said talking about it was like, oh yeah, it was it was like voted best MMO of whatever, and every single one went named by who?
Yeah, during the fucking party.
Your mom?
During this large gathering of people, they're like, voted the best MMO of 2015. And I'm like, by who? And everyone else is like,
Didn't that expansion for Final Fantasy 14 come out last year?
Yeah, it
Okay.
did.
Just
well, there you
making
go.
sure.
That expansion was the best MMO.
Final Fantasy 14 is amazing. Anyway, they did announce that thing for ESO where they made it more, Elder Scrolls.
Oh, like one Tamriel or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Yes.
they removed the level by zone thing, where
Yes.
you will be leveled to the content wherever you go. It's
true, yeah.
Which is super counterintuitive to an MMO.
Yes.
But it's super Elder Scrolls.
Yes.
So,
And I've never played
So
the
they
Elder
have
Scrolls
switched
MMO,
from one idea.
so I don't know how that went. 'Cause
Yeah.
like sounds like Retreat. But
either
it
gonna
might
be-
be awesome.
it's
for the
either
people
going to
who
be
play
a
it. I don't know.
catastrophic failure or feed into the, oh, this is really, it's identity.
Because like every time you change an MMO that basically, it's either amazing or you fucked up and you're trying to fix it.
And
Yeah, yeah.
clearly, the subscriber count has not been what they want.
Yeah.
So anything would be better than what they have. They've offered $1 million, like, just for people to sign up and make an account.
Yeah, it was $1 million giveaway they did
Yeah.
last year for this shit.
Just trying to get people in there.
Yeah, because they know Elder Scrolls is clearly an IP that holds a lot of weight. It's a great brand, but they couldn't transition that to be an MMO because a lot of what makes Elder Scrolls is incompatible with the idea of an MMO.
Everyone wants to play Elder Scrolls with their friends for like 10 minutes. The point of Elder Scrolls, the reason it's so engaging is it's this huge, buggy as shit, deep as a motherfucker world
Yeah.
that you inhabit.
Right.
You are the special snowflake.
If you got
No
to a
one else.
town and it was just full of dead bodies, and all you had to do was knowing that some asshole on the internet did it, but you still don't get to do anything in that town, that would be a pretty bad experience.
It's the Elder Scrolls MMO is. It sounds like the thing everyone wanted,
Right.
but it's not.
Yeah.
It's
I feel like something more like Dark Souls situation would have made more sense. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you can go around with a friend if you want.
Yeah,
Just
like
summon
swear to the Daedric princes. You can't complete the story because you're evil now, but you can invade other players' games.
As a team. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the other thing they talked about was Bethesda VR.
That was weird.
That was weird because it was like, for those who don't remember, they're suing Oculus. They're insisting
yeah?
that John Carmack stole intellectual property and code and things before he ran off to Oculus.
Which is why they're partnering with the
in his
HTC.
contract, he told them they didn't own a single ounce of dick of what he did with his allotted contractual free time, which was what he did when he did Oculus. So he goes off to Oculus, and they sue. And he's like, I can post the entire source code for Oculus SDK on the internet. You tell me what part of that you fucking own.
Yeah,
And they just sort of went... So, them coming out...
I'm glad to agree with John Carmack because he's code Jesus.
Yeah. So, like, when they come out and they start talking about Bethesda VR, and they keep talking about it, they don't say, like, we're making games for this platform or that platform. They just keep going on for a bit about, like, Bethesda VR, it's going to be great. You're going to be able to do Fallout in VR. And we're just like, are they seriously announcing their own VR? This is fucking insane.
And
We
so
are
Doom.
legally mentioning our intention as a proof of concept.
Yeah, there's a postage stamp on this E3 conference. I trademarked it.
We have a notary here at our conference.
Sign this? Thank you. We invented it. Okay, moving on.
Great.
But at the very end, they're like, on Vive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, well, okay, that was a weird sharp turn at the end. Like, we're driving off the cliff, we're driving. I'm just kidding, kids. Let's go to your grandma's house.
Let's go to Grandpa Gabe's house.
But it's like, they chose the most cost prohibitive fucking VR. Vive, $800.
Right?
The Oculus is $600. PlayStation VR is half that at $400.
Let's not kid ourselves and think that they can get any of their games running like that on PlayStation.
No, the idea of Fallout in VR is instantly like, oh, it'll drop a frame and then I'll vomit. Great.
I'm down.
It's part
It
of the
doesn't run well on
experience.
VR. Oh, that sounds like hard mode to me.
I could lose the weight. I need to purge.
Big
Remember all the good the Purge does.
And then the last thing I wanted to talk about, but not the last thing they announced, I wanted to arc this better than they did themselves. Prey.
Oh, yeah, Prey.
So they show...
It's Prey 2,
But they did.
but
But
now
not
it's
that.
Prey.
It's
call
called
it
Prey.
Prey.
And it doesn't look anything like Prey.
Right.
Why is it still Prey?
It
Prey
still
2
looked-
didn't look anything like
I
Prey
didn't
either.
even,
Yeah.
I didn't even remember, like,
This is now 3 ideas of what Prey is,
like, I
and none
watched
of
that
them agree.
trailer and I'm like, this is fascinating. Prey. I'm like, Prey? Why is this familiar? I looked it up. I'm like, oh, this was that thing that was... What the fuck is this?
Right? It's like, why did you even call it that?
It's in the space future, and it's a brand that we know.
But the
That's
other one
behind-
wasn't in the space future. You just
it
went
was-
to space.
He was abducted by aliens,
Right.
which they were in the space future.
So 1990 was the space future for them?
Eric, are you space?
How spaced
future
are
in
you
there?
right now?
I mean, I didn't want to reveal this in the public, but I will. I am space.
We can be a family again.
But yeah, so they show a CG trailer story thing, just introducing the idea of like there's something weird going on. This guy believes he lives in a large metropolis,
Oh, it
looks
was
out the
cool.
window to
Yeah,
see
it
it.
was a cool trailer.
Oh yeah,
It's
no.
gotten to the point where I'm like, that's a really cool thing you intend to do.
Yeah, and that's sort of the thing. Like, and for me and Bob. So at the end of the first day of E3, this pre-E3 EA Bethesda thing, me and Bob have like a 30-40 minute conversation. Me and him going back and forth. I'll summarize. He's basically like, Prey 2 looked like a great game. And then I go, well, I had no confidence they could pull off that great game. I'm sure it would have ran and felt like shit. And then he's like, yeah, but that's still more interesting to show me than the new thing, which is psychological thriller. And I'm like, but the story is cool in this. I'm not worried that the story won't be what was in the CG trailer. This is more interesting and promising to me than the other thing. And at the end of this 30-40 minute conversation, he's like, God, I need E3 to start for real because I do not care about Prey. And I've been talking about it for half a fucking hour.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I care not about. I have none.
E3 is my favorite holiday because I get to feel super entitled and then immediately after that, morally superior to everyone else who feels entitled.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, I deserve better than this. Why are you guys complaining?
Was that Sony? Was that like everyone's conference but E3 or but Sony's and then Zelda? But in any case,
We're getting
before
to
we
that.
spoil that,
Zelda.
because this needs to have a happy ending. Yeah, pray for me. I just watched the trailer and I'm like, cool. They made a game out of Moon
Yeah, well.
In Groundhog's Day.
and Groundhog's Day. The both. Groundhog's Day, but with drugs.
And that Guy Gaylor game about space stations.
I thought we had a blood pact.
We had a pact. We had a deal.
Did you guys talk about Quake before I came in?
altered the deal.
We did. We
Okay,
talked about
okay.
Quake, how it's PC only, how it's going to be at QuakeCon to talk about it more, how it's hyper competitive.
Like, they made Quake for Quake fans. Good for Quake fans.
Yeah, the concern online
There's a
is
girl
that it
now.
might be like hero shooter.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of
Oh,
weird.
yeah, Quake. We didn't talk about Quake.
No, we did that at the beginning. Yep, we already covered that. Eric, you're spaced.
I had space. Forgot.
But yeah, we covered that. I think we
right.
covered all the spots on that. So now we can move on to Microsoft. Now, here's the thing about E3. Microsoft's bad at it. They're
Yeah.
just fucking shit at it.
I mean, they weren't bad this year.
Like compared to EA and Ubisoft, they aren't shit.
Like their conference was paced well. It's just everything they showed off.
There
was-
are things on this
Yeah,
list,
like,
more
it
things
was
than
entertaining to watch.
hell.
I-
It's longer than
There-
EA and Bethesda combined on
There
a sheer
were
things
no
announced.
stupid cars dropped from the ceiling to show it once and then back up again.
They
like
did
last time.
I mean, there was a fancy car they had there.
It was there, but it didn't
they
have it
dropped it from the
descend on
ceiling.
their conference like
They
a
didn't.
vulture.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
They managed to cut to England
Yeah,
that-
for the soccer section.
Wait, that was.
Wait, no, that was EA.
Was that
EA.
EA?
We didn't even
That
cover that just
that was
because.
pretty more.
Jesus.
Just because
Okay.
It was
it was
irrelevant.
the sports part. We
Let's
didn't
go
bring that
right
up at all.
into
Good.
every year. I look forward to the Gears part of the Microsoft conference
Yeah,
because
because that's the peak of Microsoft's
they do
portfolio.
good trailers or they do good gameplay. I love the Gears section of Microsoft conferences.
Yeah. How did you feel about this
I
year's
don't
Gears?
get to play Gears much at all, really. Like I play Horde mode sometimes, but I don't get to play it much.
Are you okay,
It was like
sweetie?
it was 2005. That trailer was disgraceful.
Yeah, no. As
It was characters going, move here, use item, shoot thing.
oh, there's a turret. Stand directly in its line of fire and move this wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really bad. That was
mean,
the
this-
worst Gears has ever looked.
This is the first game that company's made.
Period. It was built from the ground up
Oh,
to
yeah.
make a new game, and then that new game became, oh fuck you guys, make Gears.
Resistance 2 had smoother set piece placement than that gameplay trailer.
That is horrifyingly true. Oh my
I don't want
God.
to believe that.
No, he's right. He's totally right.
I'm like, it's Gears, and it's boring. What did you do?
They're like, we're sorry. You're like, don't be sorry. Be better. You fucks. Yeah, no, he was bad. He was capital B bad. Like Ascension. Everything I've seen of Ascension looks
Judgment.
better. Sorry, I got my of War shitty edition mixed up. But yeah, everything I've seen of Judgment and Ascension look better than this. And that's fucking staggering. Like, that's one where people were like, oh man, that's one too many Gears. Why'd they make this one? And then 4 is announced, and then it's like, hey, I'm Marcus Phoenix's son.
There we go. I'm gonna cuss at the camera. We're coming for you, mother lovers.
Look, I love it when video games swear. I just,
Jeepers Creepers.
I mean,
is that
Nier-
real?
Nier's...
every
Gears-
Gears, every Killzone trailer, I'm like, yes, swear more.
yeah.
Good.
I love that it ended with the classic hitting the big monster.
Monster
hit
attacking the camera, cut to black.
Oh yeah.
We called that the moment, like, the monster's gonna come out of the door and hit the camera.
He's gonna
and cut
scream
to
and be
black.
like, "Bar."
I feel like that we probably have at least a dozen quick plays that end like that because that's where the demo ends.
That's true. And it always looks bad.
It
and it
does.
looked bad here again.
It did. It's not a good thing to do.
Resident Evil 7 demo also kind of ends like that.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing of like, rah, 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 and then cut to black. And it looks bad there too.
It does.
Like, it's amazing. The amazing thing is if you were playing that in VR, we're spoiling this thing slightly, you could like move out of his grip and be like, aha! Oh, you don't actually have me, you think you have me. But, you know, moving on with this, they started the whole conference. We need to stay on point.
That's
chronological order.
Good.
Okay.
Chronological.
Good.
They start the conference with the Xbox One S,
It's true.
which at the time was like, okay, we already know it outputs in 4K. That's it. It supports HDR and outputs in 4K. That's fine. It's not for
power brick.
Yeah, it has an internal power supply, so it's way smaller and looks like that. And it's like the first time they've ever made a svelte looking console.
Right.
Like it's cool.
That's the first time they had an internal power brick since the original Xbox.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Thank you.
That was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But after the conference, information came out. The Gears of War devs are like, oh yeah, with the better processor and GPU on the Xbox One S, we can do blah.
Yeah.
So apparently
okay.
it is. We got to jump ahead to cover this completely. We have 3 Xboxes now with different specs: the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, and the Xbox Scorpio.
Well, not now. It's holiday 2017.
Well, that's true, but that's 3 targets.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
I'm hearing differing reports.
Yeah.
About the compatibility. Mm-hmm. Because all through the conference they kept saying like every Xbox One game will work on the S and the Scorpio. And then I'm hearing reports of developers talking about how like it's up to the developer whether a Scorpio game works on the S and the One.
Yeah, I read that, and then I read some other things saying no, they have to all work.
Yeah,
I don't know.
so it's traditional Microsoft messaging, which is confused. No one knows what the party line is, and we're gonna have to wait a couple weeks.
Yeah, so to cover Scorpio real quick, and then we can go through this in order because those two are so tied together, the S and the Scorpio. They did this masturbatory video where they're talking about how powerful it is. It's so powerful, and I'm like, wow, they wouldn't talk about it this early. It's got to be coming out this year. And then the video ends, and it's like fall 2017.
Holiday of 2017.
Or holiday 2017. It's like, wow, they're really salting the earth for sales and they're announcing the Xbox One S at the same time. This is so confusing. And after the conference, they're like, well, this is our premium Xbox. It's going to cost more than a normal one. Which another factor to this they didn't talk about at all. The Xbox One S on stage, they're like up to 2 terabytes, and it's going to be $300. After the conference, they're like, the $300 and $350 versions aren't going to be available at launch. Only the $400 2 terabyte version will be available at launch. You have to wait until a date we aren't announcing.
Jeez.
To get the actually cheap version of this cheap version of the
weird.
console.
I could have sworn that they had dates for the other ones.
Maybe they did,
Yeah,
but either way, from the list I saw, all they had announced was August for the 400, and then to be announced.
Yeah, it is really weird to be like, oh yeah, it starts
It's
at
our
300
new cheap model.
with 2
Buy
terabytes.
the premium. Buy the collector's edition.
It's like, ugh.
Yeah, it was really weird. That whole thing's confusing, and it's just this interesting arc with the Scorpio because they didn't plan on talking about it this early. It's just because the Sony thing leaked earlier this year, which Sony didn't even want. Like, Sony wasn't ready to talk about it. And Microsoft's were like, we gotta let people know we're better. So they announced this a year and a half in
put together
advance.
this Apple as shit commercial.
They
did.
Talk about the future.
Yep.
There are 8 processing cores. There are 8 processing cores now.
But 6 teraflops.
Okay.
They got those
Wait,
flops.
isn't that what we said the 360 could do?
They kept
Oh, shit.
saying that they announced this so the developers get ahead of it, but
They said that multiple fucking times. They're
Yeah.
like, we're showing it at E3 so developers could get out ahead of it. It's like, that's what games dev conference is for. This isn't a developer-facing conference. Shut up. Like, you're lying, goddammit, and I can prove it. Objection. And that really pissed me off, that they kept saying that, because it's
Yeah.
like, no, that you sent documentation a month ago to talk to developers about this. You have already done that. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, Killer Instinct. They're bringing in a
We're
fucking...
still acting like people give a shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure they do.
I mean, do they?
They said it's the
it still
most
shows up
popular
Evo.
I
fighting
assume
game
there are numbers
on
to
the
back that
on the
up.
Xbox
I just,
One.
I haven't...
I've seen that game run.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
when you think about it, Mortal Kombat X is split between Xbox One and PlayStation, so it's probably more numbers overall, but who knows?
guess.
Maybe just Xbox One alone.
That's what they claim. That
Yeah.
it's the most popular one on their system.
Which is great because most people have the other guy's console. So, like, to a pretty
And-
wide gap. That
and
gap's
also,
actually
like,
widened a lot.
Evo is like all run on PS4s, isn't it?
Right, because it's the best performing version of all these games. So, of course, you have more sales of Killer Instinct on your console than this thing that, if people have both consoles, of course they're buying it on the PS4.
My first reaction to them saying that was, wait, what other fighting games are on your console?
Basically,
Yeah.
because Tekken's not out yet, and I'm pretty sure,
Was Guilty Gear only on PlayStation?
yeah. Dead or Alive is also on their console.
Okay.
But they, that's a port of a game from the PS3 360 gen. It's getting pretty old.
Yeah, it's got some mold. But they're adding a character from Gears of War to it, General Rom.
Yeah, I was really surprised they went with a villain. I mean, that's the only villain that makes sense because I can't think of
Right,
anyone
because
after him.
Gears of War is
Coltrane.
Gears of War is actually fucking terrible at developing characters, which can be
Yeah.
fine. Like in God of War, you would want Kratos.
No, it's good at developing characters, but just one character.
Well, then it's not good at developing
monolith character
characters.
of big beefy dude who is stoic and is a soldier.
Well, there was
Coltrane?
a touching.
Yes.
There was a touching moment in 3,
Lucrezia.
right, Bob? When he sacrificed
the,
himself.
The worst part of Gears is when it thinks it can be dramatic.
Yeah,
And
Iris-
it does it too much. It does it way too much.
See familiar faces.
Yeah, okay,
So
fine.
okay, they do that, and they don't show the gameplay, which is interesting. Like they show in-game, like General Rom doing cool
Well, they
stuff,
show
walking
him, like,
forward,
beating up Jago.
No, they like show him grab him and pull off one move because, like, if you've ever seen Killer Instinct played, it is insanely fast, super dumb looking, a billion punches like this, and rapid fire, like, and seeing a huge Gears of War insect man
Beast
just
man.
like fucking Ryu fucking bullshit would be hilarious, and they're like, well, that would be dumb. Let's not show it.
And like weirdly, like compared to his size, he had maybe the smallest knife in the world to be like.
He's like, let me get that out of your teeth. Yeah, you're totally right. But then he used it as a weapon in that trailer. He was
Yeah.
like, haha, I stabbed you. And I'm like, dude, look at you. You could rip him in half.
You constantly have bugs that tear people to shreds flying around you.
Yeah,
The blade is really a courtesy.
It is.
Yeah,
you're welcome. Forza Horizon.
sure.
That looked cool.
Was it
looked cool.
an enormously long section of onstage gameplay that was completely a pre-recorded video that people
Right.
were pantomiming to.
Yes,
Very clearly.
it was kind of gross, kind of like that Ubisoft thing. We'll get there in a bit. But yeah, I didn't like that. And one of the things that, like, the main reason this conference didn't have any kick for me, anything that made me go, oh, I should care about Xbox, is that every single one of these trailers started with exclusive to Xbox One and Windows 10.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh.
I guess I don't give a shit about Xbox ever again.
Closer to the master race.
Yeah. So, like, Forza Horizon did look cool.
Yeah,
I
like,
would
that
really
looked
like to try that.
Motorstorm-ish.
Yeah, it
With
looked-
freaking buggies
Yeah,
and
they were doing some cool
like,
stuff.
Driving by the beach. That looked really nice.
And a dude on a chopper just going by, and you're like, yeah.
Maybe Forza won't control like shit this time.
Yeah,
the Horizon games always have a more fun feel to them. Like,
Yeah.
they are designed to be more arcadey.
More like Burnout
I'd be down for that.
Paradise-ish.
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's not
closer
quite
to that than.
but yeah, it's like a mix.
And you were saying that whole initiative on Xbox and Windows 10, that whole initiative of Play Anywhere of most of our games will also be available on Windows 10 was like, good. Now I can not play your games on Xbox One.
Or ever. Yeah, I just.
Like
It's
I said before,
insane.
like last gen Nintendo completely went like we're not doing the console war thing anymore. We're gonna go Nintendo. And it seems like Microsoft is slowly getting out from under the console generation thing.
Yeah, the way they put it is they have more money to make games if they can sell more. And they can sell more, in their opinion, if they put it on Windows 10 and Xbox One.
Which is fair.
There technically is an unsaid thing here of you can't super optimize your games for the Xbox One if it's also on Windows 10. And that's sort of like, because Forza Horizon, the one they showed, kind of looked exactly like the last Forza Horizon graphically.
I mean,
The fidelity wasn't hugely different.
when you when the way that the Xbox One is, it's like no matter what, it seems like no point have the games look great.
No, but
mean-
it's a special needs device.
You're right.
You have to code for that ESRM. There's several optimizations. I don't know. I just
Right.
feel like the PS4's always looked great. Like Killzone, Shadowfall, and Infamous looked great then. Uncharted 4 looks fucking unbelievable now. But there was progress. Great then and unfucking believable now. Like Uncharted, the Gears of God of War, and other things shown off coming out really soon or in the future look fucking incredible. Like unbelievable video games look like this. Holy shit. Microsoft still looks like watch. It still looks like that first year and a half-ish.
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel like it being on both platforms may be hindering them some. That, and it would be easier to get excited as a PC guy who, a PC guy, that's weird. It sort of happened, you guys. I bought a GPU to color grade this fucking video, and then it's like, guess what? You have a gaming-worthy GPU. And I'm like, what? Welcome to the master race. Wait, what? What? Ah!
What's that too?
Like Nazi armband, but
What's this brand?
it says PC on it. NVIDIA
Suddenly
logo.
got blonde hair, blue eyes.
Engage
good
about the
acting.
estate tax.
I'm really excited about. Really excited about God of War, Fraulein. Wait a second, what was that? Nothing?
Nothing. Watch Danger 5.
Watch Danger 5. In any case,
We will after this.
Recore was announced. Or rather, actually shown as a game.
Yeah, we got some gameplay for Recore.
Now, to cover the history real quick, shouldn't take that long. Last year was shown off as a CGI trailer, marked to come out in the first 3 months of this year.
Yeah, I think they said spring actually. I'm
It's,
pretty
Right.
sure.
Okay, so spring.
June.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And nothing. No video since E3 last year. No gameplay, no nothing. Fucking didn't mention it at all. It passed its date and they're like, oh, it got pushed back. This trailer comes out, gameplay, that looks distinctly last gen, really rough, and the jumping feels bad. And now it's coming out in September?
I think
The
that's
trailer was
3
slick.
months.
It was
The
neat.
parts that weren't the game looked neat.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Remember, I'm like, oh, this is some interesting stuff. Like they've got a lot of time to finish the animations. Maybe they can. Oh shit, that's
3
the
months.
release date.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what I was
That's-
thinking too.
That's sad. It's like, couldn't you just give this a little bit more time?
I don't know that helps fucking concept do anything.
Yeah.
I just
they
all
are
of their
like
games so
obeying.
far have been the exact tier that Recore is, like that Ninja Gaiden Z,
Oh.
Yaiba.
Yeah.
Like it's that barely running tire fire.
I was made for the GameCube, I think.
God damn it.
Can you help me find my way home?
No, no one can help you except for with this.
I can't find my mommy.
And that too is Xbox One and PC exclusive, if I remember correctly.
Probably everything was.
Everything was.
Yeah, I think so.
I love the word exclusive there, don't you, Kyle?
Right? It's like exclusively
How
on two things.
How many GameCubes were you made for?
Half.
I need this many GameCubes.
Put him down. Just torching him.
World.
Ah, hit him again.
Thank you, Amy Lee.
And then fucking Final Fantasy 15 demo.
That was the worst
that
demo.
was-
Oh, it was
That was
bad.
the worst on
That
stage
was
demo.
incomprehensible.
So bad.
Like, this is how combat works.
No. The best part is they preface this is how the smooth combat of Final Fantasy 15 looks
Right,
on
they're
the
like,
Xbox One.
All
And he's
Final
getting-
Fantasies have been leading up to this amazing combat system
He's getting knocked down every 5
where
seconds.
this guy who's
Because he-
about to be fired cannot make that dodge roll.
I'm pretty sure you just hold a button to dodge roll in that game.
He keeps going toward the arm, setting up for it, getting smacked down. Then I'm like, that old guy next to you is waiting to fire you.
Yep.
You are done.
As soon as you walk off, savor the moment.
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
He'll walk backstage and just go, ah.
They were talking about like multiple factions fighting. Like, no, there was nothing.
There's no way we could even see that because the whole time he was on the ground
It was-
being Spectre.
Yeah, it was bad. And then they threw Pokeballs at it at the end.
He's got
That
one
was-
of those like World War II toggle lock pistols. Like, who even makes those this anymore? I don't know.
And like, I'm excited, tentatively, worriedly excited about
yeah.
Final Fantasy 15. That demo so immediately and so
I don't care.
That's fine. I respect that. But like that demo went so bad, so fast. I just left the room.
Yeah, you did.
I'm like, holding in piss is not worth this.
You had Overwatch on standby for the moments like that.
I keep seeing
true.
other things from 15, and the company keeps going like, no, 15's weird. It's different. It's new. We're showing you that we can do other things. We put this system and this system. It's going to be cool. I keep digging in like, is it going to be cool? Is it going to be weird? Are we going to do things? Talk to me, Final Fantasy, because I haven't cared about a numbered installment of you since 10 that wasn't 14. Because, God, I love 14.
Yeah.
Hey, that 12 Zodiac. What is it?
The remaster.
Yeah, the remaster
Zodiac
of 12
something.
looks really cool.
Yeah, see, and like 12's fans, they're diehard.
Oh yeah.
And I've never really gotten into 12.
Now's the time.
Yeah,
Now's the
like
time.
should I try it now?
Absolutely. I mean,
Because
I've heard
12 fans
really
love
good
it,
things.
but I mean 8 fans love 8, so
You can meet Captain Bash from Dalmasca.
he's Bash of Dalmasca. That's what's up. But I mean, it is also part of the Evilist Alliance, so
It's true.
Yeah.
and I have moral issues with Tactics Advanced.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I agree with those. But let's talk about the Division Underground.
Let's talk about how
there's the DLC for the Division.
they had a
called
whole
Underground.
section of the Division and acted like nothing was wrong.
Right.
And the crowd, very politely, I think, pretended along with them.
Join us in this
It
man
paid crowds tend to do.
make-believe.
Yes.
I loved playing the Division.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
It was infamous with guns and granular stat upgrades.
Okay.
I loved just dumping hours into that game. I'm like, this is fun. So, I mean, apart from its broken as shit PvP that they literally cannot fix because of how their code works,
Yeah.
and its deeply troubling messaging,
Yes. My God. Do you even know?
It's
like
something about shoot everyone in hoodies.
No, it's like those guys were in prison, so they're all criminals, and it's okay to murder each and every one of them.
So here's the thing.
Wait.
For all of you at home
They
who
were
have
in
not,
prison and now the city's shut down, so they need to escape to survive?
everyone who has not played the Division, let me give you a primer of how Tom Clancy this game is.
On a scale of 1 to America Patriotic 90s.
So, like, I was excited when I first heard about it. But
Step out while he does that.
But
Excuse me.
here's where it gets weird. Okay. So, New York is crippled by a weird, they call it the dollar flu. Because somebody put a weird smallpox thing on a bunch of 20s during Black Friday. It went everywhere. New York has been quarantined. That whole
okay.
fucking island.
Right.
You are part of the Division,
Right.
which is...
The kill team.
Okay, here's the thing. Yes, it is an embedded sleeper organization that is only activated when things go super double fucked.
Right.
Okay. Which is a good thing to
It's
have.
not a part of the regular government. The Division exists because of like special presidential order number whatever.
All right, I'm following you.
And you're in the Division, but no one in your life knows.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Because you're a sleeper agent and you're activated, and you could be anyone.
Yeah.
You could be that asshole mall ninja that buys way too many accessories for his AR-15 and keeps buying tactical harnesses and tan utility jackets
Yeah.
because he almost joined the military.
Uh-huh.
So you're activated because you need to restore law and order to New York Island.
Right.
Cool. So you're the Joint Task Force, the JTF. It rolls in the police and then the National Guard and whatever military presence is there. And, it's just sort of established order, which is cool because chaos is reigning because
Right,
everything's shut
right,
down. You're there to establish order, except you're not there to be like, hey, don't anyone loot. You're there to be like, everyone in a hoodie gets shot on sight.
Yep.
Yep.
And I realized that because we live in Florida. So when everyone in a hoodie is automatically the enemy, That kind of got to me.
Yeah.
Now, like there's a cool thing where like the municipal services went full on Scarlet Crusade, and when everyone who's not on our team probably has the disease, and we flamethrower them.
Yeah, that game is deeply fucked up.
But I mean, a lot of that would be a lot better if I think
I'm sorry.
All right.
it was either extra credits or Yahtzee that pointed this out. They put it really well with it. Like, this would be a lot better if you were like just a group of citizens getting together to fight back. No, you are like the shadow government, and everyone needs to listen to you because the president said that you get to kill whoever you want. And it's a Tom Clancy game.
Right, you're the Illuminati, okay.
And it's just, you're here from the government, you shoot everyone you think doesn't belong in society.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
How, this is purely hypothetical. Mm-hmm. How much improved would that game be if it was revealed that the Division were all lizard people?
No, see, that would be amazing. But here's the DLC they announced.
Uh-huh.
Because we're going deeper underground. Because
to dig out more people that we need to kill for
no, to dig up our lizard brethren.
Our enemies, the trailer goes, have dug in. They're not gone. They went underground. They're going to strike our enemies. I can't remember who made the quote, but they talk about when the police becomes the military, and the military becomes because the police are supposed to protect and serve. Yeah, is that a Battlestar Galactica?
I think so,
quote?
yeah.
And when the military are the police, the enemies of the state tend to look a lot like the people.
Yeah.
So it's like our enemies. You mean the citizens of New York Island? You're here to save you shitbags?
Yeah, I don't... That's...
I really hope it's Battlestar Galactica. I don't want to be attributed to a wrong quote.
No, I think you're right.
Okay.
Shit. This isn't the direction this should face, so it's kind of... Whatever. Ignore me!
Yeah, no, that game... I had a lot of fun playing it. It has troubling messaging. And that DLC is not making it better.
Now,
Yeah,
I may be absolutely fucking wrong, but I swear to God, at some point during Ubisoft's conference, Sony, of all people, came out and they were like, we think The Division's going to make a great movie. During the Assassin's Creed thing.
No, Aisha Tyler said that.
Watch Dogs is the one
Watch
they're
Dogs.
making a movie of.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
it's not that.
I mean, that has its own problems.
We can get to that when we
Yes.
get to the Ubisoft conference.
My nephew was killed by this organization, so you, random person driving on the road at the wrong time, you deserve to die in a car crash to prevent them from getting me.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm prepared for you to make that sacrifice.
Boop. What a great game.
Hack the planet!
Okay, no, we're not at Ubisoft yet.
No.
They talked about Battlefield 1 a bit.
Sure.
They showed the same trailer.
Exact same.
God, that was the third time we saw the trailer.
Frame for frame, the exact trailer.
So we watched that trailer 2.5 times.
I'm pretty sure that Final Fantasy made 2 trailers for the C3.
Battlefield made 1 and showed it 2.5 times.
Yeah.
And none of them were their engine trailer, which is crazy.
I kept waiting for it. It was going to come back.
Oh, we're summoning you forget again? There was a bunch of cloaked guys.
Oh,
Great.
you mean
Yeah,
the Final
the
Fantasy?
crystal.
Yeah, the Crystal Engine
yeah.
trailer. I was seriously braced for it all of E3.
Here we go.
Hey, if that ended with the announcement of Final Fantasy 16,
It's going to be out in 4 months. Fuck you versus 13 team.
That'd be great.
Demo out now.
That setting is more interesting than 15's, but I don't want to.
that setting has like a nice like Final Fantasy 6 vibe to it. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, because there's like weird cave sand people like living out in
And then
shitty
it's
fucking
still
houses.
clashing
and then
with
there's
modern.
yeah,
like,
there's that
guns.
great divide next to it, and there's a metropolis, like a normal metropolis that they fly to at the end of the thing.
Right.
It's just really cool. Unlike 15,
Hey, 15 has.
I'll find out when it comes
Cars.
out.
15 seems cool.
15
Yeah,
seems-
it seems.
I want to know what's going on there.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it when it comes out.
I'm excited to hear about how that story went when you played it.
Looking for group.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Those 2
I'm
features.
honestly surprised this hadn't hit consoles earlier.
Yeah, I
too.
Honestly, from what I heard from Xbox fans, I thought that was a thing Xbox Gold did already.
Fair enough.
so their Destiny is better because of that.
The interesting thing is there are groups for Destiny on PlayStation. Like, you know how there are those game
yeah.
communities?
No,
and that's how people are using those.
Uh-huh.
So you could use those to do that. But this is just... Like,
they're not
that is a
purpose.
tool. Yeah, exactly. Like, game communities on PlayStation are a tool made to do something else that could also work as looking for group. Looking for group on Xbox.
I've played Warcraft. I've experienced looking for group. Do you know what you just did to your whole player base? Like, it's a great and useful tool when it works right.
A Destiny raid isn't a place for anything.
How are you going to stop people from abusing this?
You don't. That's the answer.
It's not
Minecraft's
like
great-
you shouldn't have done this. It's like, welcome to this party. What are you planning to do?
So Microsoft owns Minecraft.
It's true.
It's true. They bought it with a lot of money. And now Notch is above us all, ascending to the next realm.
Yeah, those guys came out.
They talked about skin packs showing up in versions and how all of the versions of Minecraft will soon somehow be intercompatible.
Yeah,
in some manner.
all the servers are open and cross and all that.
Which is great. And should have already happened. Like, that should have been fundamental in them bringing it to more platforms. I'm glad it's happening
Yeah,
finally.
it was a great thing. Let's talk about the two things that happened right after that announcement that
Exactly.
shouldn't have. One was a 10-minute Minecraft video because we know what the fuck Minecraft is.
Yeah.
Two,
John fucking Carmack's just like, hey, VR, Minecraft
right?
is
Like,
happening.
Look over there, it's John Carmack. And I'm like,
Wearing
John
a
Carmack, you had better things to do today.
Wearing a headset doing this.
Kinda. He was like, oh, well, I'm here in the Oculus Rift, and,
That is not the correct use of your John Carmack.
Go build a rocket, you motherfucker.
and like, it wasn't even actually an Oculus Rift. It was that Samsung Gear.
I was going to say, like, it looked like he had a cell phone on his face. What was going on?
Yeah, that was a Samsung Gear, which is the
exactly.
Oculus using the Oculus Samsung collaboration, which uses Samsung Notes, Galaxy Notes, and other such things. You put it in a head-mounted display, and the tracking's relatively okay. But it ain't no Oculus. It ain't no Morpheus.
It is a good.
It is a basic bitch.
It is a starter.
It's one you
version
can
of
actually
VR.
go try at Best Buy, though, so that's
True.
something.
It's
Yeah.
true. The coolest thing in this whole conference to me is this next thing.
Go on.
Custom controllers.
Oh
Yeah,
cool.
that was nice.
Like, I don't even love that controller, and even I was...
Finally, an N64.
Right?
Right.
Every now and then I'm like, why does Xbox keep doing aesthetic shit that I really want?
I know, right? They're like,
Damn it.
here's the Elite controller. Here's your custom controllers. And I'm like, I want both of these things, you fuck.
I'm surprised that they didn't do customizable Elite controllers.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already playing with Premium. They could add another $50 on there and get even more.
You can have a garbage-looking Gears of War controller.
You can.
So fuck you.
Thank God.
But basically, the custom controllers, you get to choose the color of, like, the front panel, the back panel, because they're two different materials.
The sticks, the buttons.
The buttons, sticks, and everything, and engrave names on it. That was the
That's rad.
dopest thing Microsoft has done.
It's dope. They made
That's
dope shit.
super cool shit.
That is better than Quantum Break.
Yes.
Well, I actually love Quantum Break, but at the same time, I would love that for a better controller way more.
Let's say the PS4 controller.
I like it, yes. I like a game, though, where it goes, now sit down, motherfucker. I got 22 minutes of live action cutscene for you. And it doesn't do it once. It does it 4 fucking times.
Yeah.
It's like, what, you think you beat Metal Gear Solid 4 and you were done?
You thought that was a long cutscene?
No.
You thought that had nothing to do with the gameplay?
Welcome to Season 1,
Get
you
some
son of a
popcorn,
bitch.
bitch.
Time to develop the backstory of the guy who runs the servers for the evil organization. That's not an exaggeration. That is literally what the first episode's about.
It was my experience.
It was hilarious. I was
Time
laughing.
for your
It was-
mandated watching of Powers.
Do you want to watch an ABC television show?
Some of it, like, optics-wise, was better than Powers, but it did a couple dives where Bob and I went, oh my god.
I couldn't believe what they were putting in front of our faces sometimes.
What? No, I can't believe this.
What came immediately thereafter? Inside, which is that braid. Or wait.
Yeah. You showed us some
That
environments.
hauntingly empty trailer where I'm like, I wonder what that's next game. Wait, what?
Not braid.
Not braid.
A lot.
Inside.
No.
trying
The other game made by this guy. It's the one where you walk through the forest as a kid.
Yeah,
and
with the spiders and the
It's all
silhouettes.
monochromatic.
Yeah.
son of a bitch. Limbo.
Limbo. Thank
There
you.
we go.
The guy who made Limbo is doing Inside.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
said Braid. We were correcting
Oh,
that.
yeah. You were correcting here. Okay.
Yeah, I said that, and then I looked down, and I'm like, wait, no, that's Jonathan Blow.
I was like, but he just made a game. There's no way he made another one.
Well, he felt like making
My God.
that one. Then there was We Happy Few.
That looked something.
That
That was
game,
a something.
It's on a knife's edge. That game is either very awarely brilliant or insufferably pretentiously obtuse.
Yeah, and I'm excited
There's
to find out
no
which.
middle ground
No,
for
there is
that game.
not even slightly.
And you might not even find out till like 4 hours in.
Right? You're right there at the ending, and you go,
Like you're going through like, this better turn out to be brilliant.
You better not hit the credit to go, oh shit.
I was really surprised to see that it seemed to have combat at the end of that trailer.
Yeah.
Like,
I
he
mean,
was
you got-
beating guys with pipes.
You got your ass beat in, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like what we were saying, is it's very like,
words.
what?
Cool.
I don't know what you're thinking. I'm not psychic.
it was the one with the things, and the
Walking
stuff.
simulator.
BioShock 1.
Fuck you.
It was very Rapture.
Yeah, some people were commenting during the party that the visual aesthetic did kind of look rapture-y.
It was a bit
Yeah,
rapture,
it does-
yeah.
it does seem
I mean,
like-
just, surface level kind of stuff.
Right. Not like world building deep, like, oh, this thing looks like this because of blah.
Yeah.
More like the shading, lighting, and character models and
Like,
all these other things.
I want to end that game with, like, fucking tied to a chair, my eyes pried open and shouting, "It's a sin!"
It would be kind of funny if this was the thing that the guy who made BioShock went on to make. Because they haven't announced anything yet.
Yes, true. Yeah,
I'm
he's
really,
still
like,
working on it.
what weird thing about it is it's not the game preview program.
Yeah, it's
Which-
clearly a narrative-based game, but then the game preview thing, which is Xbox's equivalent to early access, it's a part of that.
Huh.
And they announced that like it was a great thing during the conference, and I'm like, congratulations, you're going to tell me a story,
No?
and then stop, and then come back later to tell me the rest of it. That's
Well,
not
either that
good
or,
story.
like, here's the whole story in a
And it runs like
worse
shit.
version of our game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't like either of those options.
yeah, that's just narrative games like that seem like the worst fit for that program.
Interesting. I
We're
just
starting-
have to see implementation.
What's that? Gwent. You can talk about Gwent now.
Gwent! Gwent exists.
It's a game.
So I played
gang.
I played Gwent for
Yes.
the first time this morning.
Yes.
I have a few days off, so I bought The Witcher.
Okay.
And I'd seen it played a couple times, and I when I watched it being played, I'm like, there's something about this game I don't get. And it was true. I didn't. Because like the depth versus complexity ratio of this game is astounding.
Yeah.
It's good. Like, I played one round of it versus an NPC and went, I get the whole fan base of this game.
Yeah.
It's good.
And now it's its own thing.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Super good.
Like, for some reason, that's infinitely more interesting. The Elder Scrolls card game.
I was just gonna say you had a very different experience playing that game than I did in Witcher, because I played it, I got halfway through a match, and then it crashed the entire game, and then I tried it again, and it crashed the whole thing again.
I played it on console.
I did too.
You
Wow.
played it a year and a half after it
right.
came out.
No, yeah,
It's
you
like,
had those
CD
patches.
Projekt Red doesn't fuck around with their
Did you get the
goddamn
DLC
updates.
too? With the Blood and Wine?
I don't remember. I didn't read my edition that I
Did
bought.
you buy it new? Or-
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought a physical copy today.
All right.
So I think it's got a bunch of DLC in it.
It has the DLC that they give you out free, but I think you still have to go buy the other stuff.
Blood and
Okay.
Wine.
Probably will.
Yeah.
Um,
I hear it's pretty nice.
But yeah, I've actually owned a PC copy of The Witcher for a while, and they kept talking about how they're improving it. They're like, oh, and now it does this, and this, and this. And at some point, that convinced me to not even play my game. I'm like, keep going.
Right? It's like that's what I hear about it. It's like, no, the reviews when it came out don't mean anything anymore.
Welcome to games. About how half of my Freedom Planet review isn't in the game anymore.
Like, when The Witcher 3 came out, everybody's like, oh my god, it's amazing. I'm like, well, maybe I'll try the Witcher series. And like, because on Steam it was like $2 for The Witcher 1, and I'm like, let's do it. This game controls like garbage.
Yeah, no, Witcher 1 and 2 are
What the
painful.
fuck is this?
Kyle reaches for his square crank. He's like, God damn, what is with these?
Let's see, I'm playing 3 and I'm like, this game definitely evolved from those games. It's good now, though.
Yeah.
Although I'm going to tell you, like when people make a very high scope game, especially in action game, you got to choose
Yeah.
animation fidelity or responsive controls.
Yeah.
They chose animation fidelity.
You actually get an option.
You don't. Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. They added different animation stuff to make it feel more responsive.
Okay.
It'll make the animations a little bit jankier, but it
'cause I
makes
was
it
gonna
more
say,
responsive.
If Geralt's going right, you wait till
was-
he's done going right
that
before
was-
you go left.
Yeah, I was gonna
That was
say,
one of the
move it in that
billion
game.
things they added in the first 6 months after
CD
launch.
Project Red is scary.
They might be Apple.
Because they're like, we're going to make this game. No, you didn't hear me. We're going to make the fuck out of this game.
I wonder if The Witcher supports Ansel. If you don't know what NVIDIA Ansel is,
Gretel?
look it up. Yeah.
I'm gonna strangle your beard.
No, Hansel and Gretel.
Riot.
Hansel and Gretel.
Yes.
Hansel and Mick Griddle.
I was gonna say it was on the Mick value menu.
I kind of want a McGriddle now.
Yeah.
That's not something a human should do.
You can
No.
buy it.
No.
They changed their menu. You can
I-
buy breakfast anytime.
Not right now. We can't.
They are kind of close.
If only we lived in actual human civilization, there would be a 24-hour McDonald's, and then we could kill ourselves.
So Gwen exists. It scratches the itch
Right.
for all the Gwen fiends out there.
But you know what scratches a better itch, and it does it way better? Akuma being in Tekken 7.
That's cool.
So cool!
That was rad.
I was
Like-
like, okay, Akuma fits in Tekken, and I didn't look into it at all. And then this trailer starts playing, and I'm like, oh yeah, Heihachi.
I
fucking
don't
Akuma.
play Tekken. I barely play Street Fighter, and even I knew that was rad as shit.
like they start doing the thing. I'm like, oh my god, are they finally doing Tekken Cross Street Fighter like the Tekken one? I thought the project was dead. And then Dan's like, no, it's just Tekken. I'm like, so are they? Like, it's just Akuma. I'm like,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want Ryu in my Tekken because
just-
Dan's gonna pick Ryu. I mean, he's gonna pick Akuma anyway.
What was it? Fucking Akuma does like the Shungoku Sats to fucking Heihachi, and he's like, do you know who the fuck I am? And then Heihachi just gets up and he's like, who the fuck do you think you are? It was good. It was so good.
I'm like, it's fucking Akuma versus goddamn Heihachi. I'm like, this is all I wanted my whole life.
I didn't even know.
I wanted this to happen. Done.
Blood brains.
I mean, you had that worry that Akuma was not quite of
Yeah,
the
I was
power
saying,
list.
like a Street Fighter, it seems like Akuma would be way OP because like that power creep seems to be way higher in Street Fighter than in Tekken. But then we talked about it, and like, no. Remember that time Heihachi kicked a demon in the face, and that time they strapped him to a rocket and shot him into space?
and a building fell on him.
He's fine. He fights
Yeah.
his demon sons all the time.
and his demon father, Grandpa Heihachi from
Jinpachi.
5. Yeah,
He
Jinpachi.
of the laser stomach.
Remember when he got transported to a world of souls and swords, eternally retold, and
do.
went,
They're
man,
like,
everyone,
you're gonna need a sword.
man, everyone
Punch.
has swords. No, and just punched everyone to win.
Fucking Mitsurugi's
Right?
like, haha, and he's like,
And I was wrong. Like he sees Mitsurugi like, welcome to the sword place, and Heihachi's like, the fuck are you doing here?
I didn't
You
they
brought
do
a sword
commercial
to
like
a
that
fist fight.
for
Yeah, they
Soul
did. Where
Calibur?
some guy's like, you're gonna need a sword, and Heihachi's like, shatters it. Maybe you don't.
Dead Rising 4.
Sure.
Hashtag Frank is back.
Yes. So that game is the exact game I think of when I say, this shit looks like it's still the launch era.
Right.
Like, it looks exactly like 3 visually, and it's sort of like,
But see, that kind of game is exactly where I go, like, that's all it needs to look like.
kind of, but
That's
then
Dead
you,
Rising.
But like with Dead Rising, the whole thing is like how many zombies are on screen and the pathfinding and stuff like that. And when you see something
Well, I mean,
that
like,
happened during the Sony
when it
conference,
happened,
Oh, I was about to say that.
when
Yeah,
it happened
yeah.
the
The
first
amount of crow
time.
that they eat.
But
Yeah.
at this point, that's not what the game's about anymore.
Yeah,
Not at this sequel. It's
I don't
like
know.
we made another Dead Rising. Frank is back. It's goofy as shit again.
Yeah, no,
Which
it
is nice.
being goofy is a big part of its charm.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like they made that game because that Dead Rising needed to exist.
yeah, that's fair. I'm glad it's PC and Xbox.
It's surprising
because-
that it's still like not PlayStation.
Yeah, it's weird that Microsoft threw down the money to get 4 exclusive as well. I guess 3 worked out for them.
They must have. I can't see any other reason.
That's
they would
one of
do
the
it.
few games to play at the Xbox launch that was really solid and not grossed out by fucking microtransactions. Thank you, Forza.
It wasn't Rise.
and wasn't grossed out by microtransactions like that Dragon game, that Panzer Dragoon successor.
Right.
I forgot
Sure,
about
it
that
plays
game.
like shit and looks kind of bad and is completely inaccurate and nonsensical.
But its story is also shit. No?
Why did we make this game?
No one knows. To this day, scholars are still debating.
But yeah, it's cool to see Frank West is back. I feel like I wanted more from that trailer though. Like it didn't get the sense of humor or anything other than he's doing
goofy
this.
weapons.
Yeah,
and things,
but the goofy weapons and things were in 3. Like it had all that stuff.
That's
I'm worried
true.
about like
the enemy encounters
Right,
and how that
enemy-
feels.
yeah,
because like in Dead Rising, when you meet an enemy, it's fucking like the cutscene itself and the character design makes it that surreal level of like weird comedy.
yeah,
Like-
it's
like-
just
like-
it's full on B movie. Like,
Yeah.
This is what I picked up from that trailer, like tonally, coming off of how fucking grim serious the last couple were
Yeah.
for no reason. Where it's like Frank is back, and Frank does the goofy games, but he's been doing them so long, it's become kind of grim now.
He's just like, here's a selfie of me with a pile of zombies.
It's become like French surrealist, like, this is so wacky, my life is meaningless.
He didn't even look at the zombies burn when he lit them on fire. He was like, there.
The whole time it's like, selfie!
I've covered
And
more.
then, like, your fucking facial transformation isn't as depressing as his.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's just like, ha! And then, like, really quickly just becomes dead.
Because at this point in Frank's story, I don't think there's a world left. He's just sitting here like, I can kill any number of zombies. No one is coming for me.
The weird thing is
This is my life now.
This takes
Yeah.
place before 3. Just because of how Frank looks. Because he looks
Yeah.
older in 3.
Well, does he show up in 3? Because I know
Yeah, he shows
in
up.
2 they did that weird like second version of it, and then he's way older in that.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, he shows up in 3.
Okay.
One of the important characters is actually his daughter. And he just comes in at the end and he's just like, what the fuck?
Weird.
Get your hands off her. Oh, Frank West.
Becomes the altered beast.
This is our problem having played video games our whole lives. Was he in a previous video game? Well, then he is all powerful.
He's gonna be Kefka. 6 screens of Frank West as you scroll up and fight him for hours.
Wait.
Let's talk about more disappointment. Swinging the scale back the other way. See if... Wait, no. Scalebound.
Scalebound.
Around.
Scalebound
Sure.
doesn't look fun.
Yeah, that seems to be the largest problem
Yeah,
for me.
I know.
I don't know what part of that encounter I'm supposed to look at and go, I want to do that.
Well, you're playing with your friends, Dan. It doesn't need to be fun. They're there to have
I
fun
can
with.
play Naked Robber with my friends, and I choose to not do that day after day.
You could all get together and shoot ineffectual arrows at a giant dragon.
Well, I mean, it was a
As
crab.
people say, whoa, slow down, babe. Gotta go fast.
I wish he
The
had
voice
more
clips
quotes.
were that bad.
I
They
wanted
just-
more quips because it was the only thing getting me anywhere in that.
That's true. It's very true.
I mean,
I'm
they
gonna
said
play
it
with
was like,
lens
this
now.
is the biggest enemy we've ever had you fight in a platinum game. But is it the most interesting?
No,
No.
like,
And that's the weird
It
thing.
was
Like,
the
Bayonetta,
most Lords of Shadow.
Bayonetta 2 also kind of did that where it was like, oh, here's this huge fucking encounter. It's like, yeah, but this is kind of shitty.
It's not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun.
And
It's
it's
the
like,
largest
honestly, like the Scalebound footage did the same thing the Gears footage did. Shoot this thing! Shoot this thing now! Keep shooting this thing!
Yeah, they just-
Next phase!
Yeah, it was just like they literally were yelling at you to shoot the core, and then he was shooting the eyes. and
Like,
I'm
shoot
what-
the heart! Shoots mandible.
Yeah, that bugged the shit out of me.
Yeah,
I just that was such a bad trailer.
It's either broken or unfinished or poorly conceptualized.
That's supposed to come out next year.
yeah. That reading development notes on how that game's gone is crazy. Like apparently the concept's been around for a decade or something.
Yeah, like it went too long.
And once it got started, it changed drastically because it was supposed to be about some girl and her dragon, right?
Yeah, that actually might have just been the early design phases before they went into full production and probably had to change it a lot to sell it to Microsoft like this. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
yeah,
Yeah.
seems like
Honestly,
a passion
the-
project that
I
just
would-
went really wrong.
The trailer last year was more promising, honestly. Even though it ran like shit.
You're right. I would much rather have
that
seen,
combat looks better than this boss battle combat.
the boss battle.
Kind of remind me of
I
boss
hope-
battles in Resident Evil 2 co-op.
I hope that.
Or
that
wait,
thing is-
not Resident Evil 2. Resistance 2 co-op, where it's 6 people shooting at a big thing that doesn't seem to care that you're shooting at it
Yes.
until its health bar is low enough. and then it dies.
But Resistance 2 co-op was fun still.
Yes, I enjoyed that.
Especially when you played a medic.
Which was overpowered and fucking ludicrous.
You were immortal and invulnerable and did the most damage.
It was a well-balanced game.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe there are enough meters going up in Scalebound that you'll love it.
You get like the soldiers rolling like, I'll pop a shield. And we're like, that's cute.
Great. I mean, how many skill trees are there? I mean, I'll buy it.
Right?
Can I roll in with my skeleton army that the boss will deal with one swipe? Man, Final Fantasy 15 would be incredible if you could summon skeletons. It's just a bunch of pretty boys driving around a limo full of skeletons!
To be fair, that's true of basically every game made.
Yeah, it's true.
It'd
Destiny
be
would
better if you could summon a bunch of skeletons.
Shadow of the
Tetris-
Colossus would have been fucking amazing.
Yeah, because they climb it. It looks like one of those Harryhausen? Am I saying
Yeah,
that right?
looks like
it looks like a Harryhausen movie.
It looks
where
like
it's-
an
Like the
ant
first one
attacking a
strolling
caterpillar.
along, and
just-
you're like, time to resurrect my dead girlfriend. Oh,
I made you this bone house. We will live in
darkness consumes me.
it. Sea of Thieves, rare game. They actually showed gameplay
Looks
this year.
cool.
Still no date.
Still no date, I don't think. Maybe
I don't think they
maybe-
said 2017, but
They
maybe
might
I
have.
missed it.
It was
Yeah.
one of those things like, we made this game as a social experiment. And I'm like, that looks baller as hell.
There were ships.
There's a drink rum button, basically.
That makes
I
you
mean, I
tipsy.
love how they just dropped like 9 people in. And they're like, no tutorial. Welcome
Time to
the
make
game.
YouTube poop.
Because it was like, we're on an island. Oh, there's a boat. Let's go to the boat. Like, I can't see past the sails. Left to right. Left to right. We're going to crash. And
There's another boat. Get in the boat.
Yeah, like 2 ships saw each other. And it wasn't like, I wonder if that's the other team. Let's go see how they're doing. No, it was fire the cannons.
It's fucking like the thing to me is the idea of the forced co-op where it's like I can't see and I'm steering this thing. Get up there and tell me which way to fucking turn is cool. But then you go to do it, and it means you are wholly reliant on someone else
Yeah.
to
so,
play
like, there
the
was
game.
a cool concept video. I don't know what the game is like.
Right.
Final form.
So
I don't know how they're going to package that or shape it or...
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those, I'm counting the days until it would just...
Gets canceled.
Yeah, canceled, silently shut down the studio. This feels like a Fable Legends
It does
situation.
feel exactly like Fable Legends, where the ideas sound nice, but then like you see the execution, and you're like, maybe that's not.
No. Okay, I want to share an E3 moment that we had in the crowd. I made the joke that either during Sea of Thieves or something, someone comes out wearing a lion head shirt. Bob stops, turned to me with this face. Like he couldn't, like, shit. Like it was,
Yeah, that's a gross thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
It's the thing I will remember
What's
forever.
in the
of just-
box? Click, 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 click.
Always remember, you are one step away from the abyss.
Yeah. Moving on. State of Decay 2
Sure.
was shown off in some sort of CG
Great.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
We thought that it was
I
Walking
forgot there
Dead
was
Season
one.
3 for a moment, and then we realized it wasn't, and that we didn't recognize that. And then it was the 2.
And then no one was hyped.
Nope.
Halo Wars 2 was shown off in a CG trailer that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a great trailer.
That was like
always.
Oh, hey, a Halo trailer that looks good. Great. That did way more for me than Master Chief in a desert in Anime Land, which was nothing like that game.
God, that never happened.
No, nothing even vaguely resembling that happened in that fucking game.
That would have been cool. Because that was like Kenshiro.
Just
Master
so we're
Chief.
clear,
There was no anime
Halo
land?
5 had the first thing about it was a CG trailer, Master Chief traveling through the desert wearing a robe,
Yeah, that's
and a
right.
giant fucking thing comes up out of the ground, and it's anime as fuck. Nothing like that even slightly occurred.
You're never even not in a team.
That kills. Like some sort of kill team. They're one short of a kill team, though.
Can we get
So
through one
maybe
day?
they're a
We
hard
get you
team.
10 minutes. I don't think so.
No, I can't even get through a thought. But then
Maybe
they
I
show.
haven't explained this well enough. There are 2 of us, and we're on a team.
And we
And
kill
we kill.
things.
I don't get it.
Like we're a kill team.
With the gameplay for Halo Wars 2, it looked like as good, if not worse, than Halo Wars 1, like from a gameplay perspective, and more importantly, a visual. Like, more importantly in this case, because it's like But they announced a beta.
They did. I honestly, like, we didn't get to see what I wanted to of gameplay, which was user interface, which
like
is the most important part of
In
that
a
kind
console
of game.
strategy?
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of important, as it turns out.
Because one thing I really liked about the way that Halo Wars 1 worked is they figured out, okay, we can have, like, instead of drawing a box, you can just hold a button and it makes a circle to select stuff. And that was genius.
It was.
For RTSs on console. That was
We learned from StarCraft 64, is what you're saying.
Yes, we've moved on since that.
Yeah.
We've learned since. We didn't learn from.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
There's nothing to learn from that. Only mistakes.
But yeah, then... So I really don't know what to think about it without seeing any user interface other than it doesn't look that great graphically.
Yeah. But, okay, we only have 2 conferences left. We're going to take a short break, though, before we continue, so enjoy this music. So Ubisoft won't take long.
Cool.
Ubisoft, don't stop me now. Just Dance. They did a dance on stage in stupid outfits.
See, when
Like
I
they
think
do.
about their conference, I just cut that whole part out.
Yep. Stupid outfits, just like they do in Just Dance on stage while it blared Don't Stop Me Now.
Yeah. Sure, great. Great representation of the game.
Ghost Recon Wildlands. Ghost
God.
Toucan. Ghost Toucan Wildlands.
Follow your nose wherever
Was
it goes.
shown again. It was yet another bad fake gameplay with people talking over it like it's happening real.
Yeah.
Like real and live in real time.
See, I spent that whole section thinking, like, I don't have that many friends who would take that mission that seriously.
Right?
And okay,
They
good.
were pros.
Like, one guy's gonna be the sniper, and then, like, these guys do infiltration, this guy handles this, and I'm like, no, that's not how that's gonna go, guys.
And the thing for me is this looks absolutely nothing like the gameplay trailer from last year. Like, it literally visually looks like a completely different game. In Ubisoft tradition.
Yeah, that looked a lot closer to Ghost Recon Future Soldier released like 3 years back now than it does to whatever they showed last year.
Yeah, last year was fucking like, oh man, there's a few... Okay, so Sony's conference has a lot of like, games are like this, whoa! That's what last year's Ghost Recon trailer looked like. And then this year's like, this is a Ubisoft game! Psych!
Here are the compromises we made.
Every single one. We made them all.
Don't worry, we'll make more before we release it.
And then it'll crash.
Can't stop me. Can't stop me.
Hey! Don't eat this! Then they talked about the fractured butthole.
Which is great.
South Park.
All of
That
it
trailer
good.
was really
Again,
good.
Timing is important when you say that title.
Because, South Park fractured
The fractured
butthole.
butthole.
That trailer was hilarious because it parodied a trailer for Watch Dogs that came 20 minutes later in the conference.
Yes.
And they came out after their trailer played with its overly edginess and talking about crime rates and blah, blah, blah. And then the guy just... We told the Frostbite engine, or no, it's a Snowdrop. We told the Snowdrop engine we needed a trailer, and that's just what it spit out.
Now, the weird thing is, that exact joke was done either the last year or the year before for Battlefield and Plants vs. Zombies.
Was it...
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It was very much that of like, we make this trailer and it's throwing you off because it looks like it's a trailer for this other thing.
Right.
The difference here, I think, lies purely in how stupid Ubisoft's overly serious trailers are in comparison.
True. Whereas the other one was a by the numbers Battlefield trailer, which is just good.
Right.
Because, I mean,
And not like...
I've had to lift really heavy things or solve really complicated problems in my life. Mm-hmm. But I have never tried as hard as Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Oh my god. It's like the Catcher in the Rye had sex with a Nirvana album.
It's pulling so hard on its own bootstraps. So hard.
If only we could wake up all these sheeple.
so true.
Let me put on my emoji mask.
Yeah, right? Like, yes, guy with LED ski mask
What are
and
we gonna do,
spiked
Deadmau5?
fucking face
Let
cover.
me wear my friggin' logo hat of my anonymous hacker group that people should know about.
Oh my god, Spike Lee, can you not know what Wi-Fi is and then shoot members of a private security firm hired to guard a congressman hard enough to save the planet?
I think he can do it.
And that was the Watch Dogs trailer, but
we skipped a little
South Park
bit.
Fractured Butthole.
It was good. The
Looked
whole thing was
hilarious.
fun.
Yeah,
And good.
it's more of the South Park game.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I still haven't played the South Park game.
Plus
You should
grid-based
do that.
combat. And if you buy it,
yeah, you get the last one.
yeah.
The grid-based combat was a little
Righteous.
weird to see because it
I mean-
that seems like a big departure. Wasn't the last one?
No,
just
yeah,
like-
it's a different combat system.
Yeah, they're
And
definitely
this one honestly reminds me of like kind of bad Gust RPGs.
Well,
that
see-
have that grid-based combat for very small encounters.
Check this out. It needs to mimic JRPGs in their progression throughout the years. So
Okay.
this isn't a change for the better, it's a change for the sake of change. Because they
Okay,
needed to be
yeah.
mechanically different at all in order to drive another 20-hour experience or however long South Park ended up being.
Okay, I want to say that the best part of the concept is
How-
of you being the same character of your
Yeah.
of being like
The king
the
of
king
the
of
fucking
whatever.
land.
You win, you are the big guy from the last game, but the reason you are depowered and lose your influence in this game is just because you're children and you decided to play a different play game.
Or they decided for you, and
Yeah.
now you're just some idiot. That's good.
it's great. That's like amazing.
For me, I think my favorite story element / joke thing is that these kids being shitty to each other and arguing like petty fucks is a parallel to the Marvel Universe movie canon. Yes. It's so good.
Why don't I get a movie?
You got your Netflix series. Shut up. But you got 2 movies, or you got 3 movies. That was good. That was really good. Honestly, I may buy because you have to digitally pre-order it in order to get that.
from
if I
UB's
remember correctly,
from UB Store, I think.
I think they had instructions up. I'm gonna look into that at some point. I might actually do that just to get both
Yeah.
because I.
Though the
want
first
it-
one's probably dirt cheap by now.
That's
I would
true.
imagine.
So
Or
you're
it could be
saying,
even dirtier cheap.
but the first one doesn't run on PS4, which is the value in this.
True. If you're doing PS4, but I thought you were going to do PC.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Do I want to do that? I didn't think about that. I need more time.
Help! All right, next thing.
Eagle Flight VR.
I was stoked on that. You guys didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Let me just describe
liked
it.
it.
Let me just describe it. In this multiplayer deathmatch game where you hunt rodents and scream each other to death, you play as a VR eagle. Did I get it? Was
Yeah, you
that
did it.
everything?
That sounds right.
Okay.
Yes,
Now-
flippant millennial asshole.
No, I'm just trying to cover that. Like that got every facet of that, right?
More or less. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
there were
just-
teams.
it's just
There
big
was,
ass
team
eagle
deathmatch.
capture the flag.
Right? Or
Yeah.
was
You were
yeah,
all
I guess
trying
it was
to
capture
get
the
some
flag.
rodent off of the ground or wherever and bring it back to your
And you
nest.
screamed each other to
You
death.
could scream
I
think
to
that-
kill / damage to knock the thing out of their claws.
Yeah.
One thing that really upset me about that is the screams seem to not actually have a physical representation.
Oh,
so
they
it
did.
just-
No,
they did.
they
It
Yeah,
was
like
the
a-
shittiest looking
it was like-
circular
it was like
shape.
wind
I saw
A
that.
dust
I
burst.
saw that late in the gameplay, but early, and I just kept hearing the screams, and it seemed like nothing was happening, and the characters were just dying.
It may have been the other ones doing it.
Maybe
maybe they were
the
too
screams are
close
just
and
so
you didn't
loud,
see.
and
I don't know.
But yeah, I had trouble seeing it until late in it too. For me, the thing, like, why I was like, you know, like we were saying, it's like you're having sex with a great sexy lady, and she's just like about to get you there, and you're about to come, and then she goes, Battleborn, and you're just like, oh, you just ruined it.
Oh, spaghetti!
Battleborn is a good way to ruin any conversation because either you think that game's hot fucking garbage, or you're crazy and you're about to start a fight over it.
Right. What did that have to do with?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So, that would have been neat for me if last year they weren't like, in VR, you will be a majestic bird exploring landscapes. And this year they're like, team deathmatch. And I'm like, ah!
Is that not better?
It's like turning an art It's like turning through a beautiful Renaissance painting art book. And then one page is some
Yeah,
guy jerking
but-
off in a McDonald's, and you're like,
But deathmatch.
I
I've taken art history courses. They are improved by deathmatch.
But yeah,
He's
it
not
was
wrong.
just it was
Like,
so
you're a majestic
weird.
eagle flying over the Palais de Justice. I'm like, that's cool for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I was interested in how they would make that make sense as a game and like
Team deathmatch.
right. No, see, that's
I don't know why you're fighting this.
I was trying to figure out how Dad was gonna get us there, and then he just stops the car when he realizes he went 3 miles in the wrong direction, turns, and goes the other way. But yeah, that's what it was for me. That's why I was so sour on it during the conference, because I was just like, it's like if The Last Guardian came out this year and it was like, and in the deathmatch mode.
You think it's not going to do that?
I know it's not gonna do that, you
We
motherfucker.
saw 2 of those bird dogs. Deathmatch.
This is Jade Cocoon now. You are raising your demons to fight other demons.
Welcome to Dragon Seed, motherfucker.
I don't like any of this. I actually do like Dragon Seed. Dragon Seed's a great game.
I
Let's
have
talk
yet
Star.
to really play it, really.
Really.
I rented it once, I was like, what is this? I'm dumb, and I'm young.
I remember
You
Dan.
actually said that out loud?
No.
Dan sat me down and went, you need to see Dragon Seed, so I'm not the only one.
To prove it's real, unlike Vector Man, which isn't, Kyle.
I'm like, you're right, this game's pretty cool. Can we play Vector Man now? And he's like, it isn't real.
And
How
I
can we
chucked the
play that?
cartridge
That
out
does not
the-
exist.
I was just like, there are 4 lights.
Yeah, actually, it was a lot like that. Speaking of 4 lights, Star Trek VR.
Cool. I mean,
Right? It's that Artemis game, except now it's a VR game.
What was it? The guy who played Doc in the newer movies was like, wow, LeVar Burton really knows the engineering terminology. It's like, no shit!
I think he was being facetious when he said that.
I don't know. He seemed legitimately
No
impressed in
shit,
the way
Baby Bones. You played in 2 movies, shitbag. He even played it for 6 seasons.
He is my favorite part of those movies. Because everyone else is like being a new character, and he is doing a Bones impression. Every scene he's in, he's like, why aren't you guys doing what I'm doing?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, that Star
And
Trek
7 of
VR
9,
game
so-
didn't really have a lot to show, but it's coming out like by the end of the year, isn't it?
I don't remember.
I could have sworn they said it was coming out by the end of the year, presumably on PlayStation VR, because the graphics looked rough as fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that looks.
Well, I don't think
Yeah.
it's any better. It doesn't seem to
Yeah.
be the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
didn't
no, like the point there I was trying to make is PlayStation VR has less graphical hardware, so if you're not super optimizing, it could look rough to do a game like that.
They didn't show off too much like gameplay, mostly like just button pressing.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
it's
I mean,
the like
yeah.
Artemis.
Wait,
I mean-
I think they were talking about like the Oculus Touch controller. I'm pretty sure they were.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I hope I'm not wrong, but that I remember.
I
that
feel like
happening.
that's right.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say like maybe there's a bigger scale we aren't quite seeing because they'd pull outside the ship and show like them flying around in places. I'm like, what is the bigger thing here?
The whole thing, as I've heard it described, is supposed to be like Artemis. Project Artemis is that thing where you link together 4 computers or whatever, and you run a starship.
Yeah.
Like it's that you're working together as a team to run a Star Trek ship, and I don't know that the trappings around that are going to be that massive.
Right,
A lot of
like,
the VR
it's the
stuff
idea-
that we're seeing is sort of smaller
Because I
budget.
was gonna say like the scale we saw was just them fighting another ship, I think. Whereas
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's actually going to be like a galactic scale and
Yeah,
that
it's
sort of
probably
deal.
going to be scenario resolution.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm thinking too. I doubt it would be really funny. You're doing all this like medial fucking shit, medial labor to like, okay, adjust this, these shields, blah blah blah, divert energy from this to that in order to okay, we made it there on time to make this negotiation. Get the thing on screen. Cut it out. Okay.
Okay.
Because, like, I see that, I'm like, that sounds really cool. Do I have a friend I would trust to be on tactical? No.
Huh. Now, something we haven't
Shields up, ensign.
Did he say
we'll
fire
see.
proton turret? Let me just lean over here.
something we haven't mentioned on any of the podcasts because we haven't done one in 11 months.
Wait, can I say
For anyone
it
who
will
didn't keep
take
track of this.
a lot of trust, not just for them to trust them at the console, but you to be in a room with 4 other people blindfolded and trust one of them not to get up and start fucking with things around the room.
It's been like 11 months since we've done a podcast, so there's not, we haven't like had the checking up on us recently and what's going on. Both Aggro and I pre-ordered PlayStation VR.
Did you?
Yeah. You pre-ordered, right? No?
No,
Wait.
you did.
You made it sound like you
No, I'm
pre-ordered.
like-
You're like, I'm getting it.
Yeah, like I'm gonna buy it. I haven't pre-ordered.
Oh. I wonder if the supply is going to be good.
I have no
You
idea.
you guys
I
seem
plan to roll
pre-order
those dice and
out,
see what happens.
right?
Yeah, no, they ran out of pre-orders.
Yeah.
I plan to mooch.
Yeah, no, that's always a good plan.
Yeah.
I'm worried that someone will make me play the
Riggs.
Resident Evil demo.
I saw Riggs, and it's like, I guess I bought it.
Whoa!
Done.
I mean, it
That's fair,
seems like a low price of entry for such an amazing
Yeah,
experience.
I'm still very like
tentative.
biologically afraid of it. Like,
I don't want to step into another dimension. Pussy!
I watched Dot Hack Sign. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
Wait,
Or
those two statements
For all
don't
you
line up.
kids out there, the nerve gear.
For
Anyway.
honor.
For Honor, sure, great, good.
So For Honor has a story?
Start the timer.
Okay,
Like, I really assumed they were just gonna be like, they're all fighting now. Done.
Yeah, last year they kind of introduced it as a multiplayer competitive
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
almost
No, it's
seemed
like-
like they were evolution of that TV series Ubisoft used to do games for, the Greatest
God.
Warrior, Ultimate
yeah,
Warrior.
Ultimate-
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
It just almost seemed like those guys no longer had that brand and went, well, let's make a bigger scale thing that's still just that. People
Like,
want to see
well, Now
that.
there's a story. I'm like, okay, I guess there's a single player. That sounds cool.
with like a third party that
like-
wants
like-
to incite war.
Yeah, Apollyon's some weird God of War thing. I don't know, whatever. I don't give a shit. Like as that trailer could go, they're like the greatest warriors of all time, and I'm like, there are other factions and time periods you guys could draw from if that's what you're gonna say
Like-
unilaterally.
That's what the expansion packs are for, Aggro.
Right? I'm like, I hope there's DLC. Like, I want the fucking Rajput expansion. I want the Assassin expansion.
I mean-
I want the goddamn Sikh expansion.
the Mongols exist.
Right?
Get
Like, we're the
fucked.
greatest warriors ever. None of us are on horses for some reason.
Look, the horses are expensive. And also, their islands crashed together. They're ruined. All the horses are broke.
The horses fell over and we can't put them up. They broke.
But you're sure that game
thought-
looks okay? Good.
I thought it looked promising.
Yeah.
the
like,
graphics
honestly,
are definitely way better than like
it
anything else
looks-
they've shown.
It looks current gen. Like, which is kind of astonishing given a lot of the other third-party stuff this year.
Just wait till next year, though.
And Christopher
Right.
Freeman
Game is a totally different-
said like two things in Japanese and then shouted a lot.
Right?
And I will never not be excited about a thing in which Crispin Freeman shouts.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he yelled Uwaga no Tekio Kurao.
Probably.
No, because he lost that fight.
For me, I was really excited to see like the single player really playing up the clash of ideals between a samurai, the way we think of samurai, of like honor and loyalty to the crowd, whatever, and the Viking going
Loyal
"None
to
of-
the core."
None of that sounds like rape and pillage. I'm gonna kill you now.
And like when they were doing the first one where it's like, oh, here's the Viking, and here's the samurai, and the knight shows up and it's a chick, and I'm like, okay, cool, so we are doing that.
We're just,
Righteous.
yeah.
Because I'm like, it's in plate armor, and it's got a 6-foot piece of steel with a sharp edge. Nobody gives a shit what its genitals are.
And if you do, guess where your genitals are going?
I'm sorry. Now I'm just thinking, armored black guy shows up. Remember me? No, I don't remember that in history books. Could you help me here? Africa, maybe?
All the footage of For Honor, there's a lot of swords, but there's also a lot of guys in plate armor.
Yeah.
So I was talking about, like, I want to be really shitty about it. Like, the first couple of weeks of play, people are like, man, it's really hard to damage people. And, like, there's a single, like, Warhammer or War Pick in the game. And, like, it's super OP. No, it just works against plate armor.
The only thing that was really really about the trailer was that every main this is a character in the trailer did fancy cool shit and then paused for effect. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, we were making jokes about that. I'm
No.
like, Ensign, you forgot to take a cool pose. Oh, right.
All
Sorry.
right. Perhaps this is our destiny. Meanwhile, axe to the neck. Axe
Perhaps
to the
this
neck.
is our... Just blood.
when you are covered head to toe in custom-made steel second skin, and that's your whole job, sometimes take a moment to relish.
You gotta get that vibe going.
Gotta live it up. But yeah, For Honor looked neat.
For Armor.
Hopefully it looks anything like that next year.
Right. The comment
'cause
looks
we didn't-
kind of
When was it
simple,
supposed to?
but
When was it supposed to come out?
oh man, did they give a date? I
I
don't know.
thought they did.
I don't know.
It might have
We're
been
bad
first
at this.
quarter next year. I don't think that's an exaggeration, saying we're bad at this.
Yeah.
I mean, to do this super well, we would probably spend another hour on prep in like 5 hours talking about it. And we just don't
list.
We don't have that. We don't have that time.
Let's
I'm
go
sorry.
down.
I'm sorry.
I'm out for Honor.
I blame our Patreon. Moving. I say it as a joke. I'm worried that someone out there's like, what a fucking dick. But
I'm doing that right now. I don't know. That guy's a fucking dick.
thank God I can stop wondering. Grow Up.
Good. I like
Grow Home 2.
Grow
Oh,
Home.
yeah. No,
Grow Home was cool.
Grow Home is cool. Grow Home's cool.
Barely remember Grow Home. Didn't have anything to do with it, so I got nothing.
More
I
of
was
that,
really,
sure.
really surprised that it seemed almost identical, but was a larger area. Like, I thought that the concept for that would have been...
It changed.
changed.
Evolved.
Like,
But it seems like it's coming out a year later.
right, instead of... So it became an Ubisoft title instead of becoming more.
I don't know. Maybe when next year you can call in other robots to take down enemy bugs, then it will be...
Maybe by then they'll have gotten the knack for it.
They don't make knack. That joke doesn't even work.
Maybe by then they'll have the division for it. Dan's non-joke is now a joke through the transmogrification of...
Knock him down.
So in any case, Trials of the Blood Dragon.
Cool.
That shit's out.
Like, that started, and I'm like, why would you even? But when it was done, I was like, well, of course you would.
That's fair.
That was really cool, but it also made me sad that they didn't just have that guy making a new Blood Dragon. Like, that'd be so much better than Primal.
Can I talk about how good of a practice it is to just be like, here's this new thing, and it's out fucking now. Get it, nerds.
Yeah, I love how much they're getting that. Like, there were demos at Sony's thing, and Trials
There
of
were
the Blood
demos
Dragon
and
just...
released games all over
like
the
out.
place. Yeah.
Which is how Bloodstained should work. I haven't mentioned this yet. So they send us an email, the us backers of Bloodstained, and they're like, hey, we're going to send you guys the E3 demo during E3 or by the end of the week. And I'm like, cool. And I spent every moment of E3 checking my goddamn email.
And when you weren't, I was.
And that's all I care about. It's been years, like 8 of them since Order of Ecclesia.
At one point, I believe you were asked which conference was best.
Yeah,
and you were like, which one showed Bloodstained? That
What
one.
was it? Joe was like, what game are you guys most excited for? And somebody was like, Horizon. And someone else was like, Detroit. And they
Or
were like,
God
oh
of
shit,
War, or-
and God of War. And then it kept going back and forth, and everyone's decided on Sony stuff by the end of the day because that was very promising looking. And I'm like, Bloodstained, you idiot.
Because it showed for 3 seconds during that Indiecade thing.
So it counts. Fuck
yeah.
you.
It had cannons. I don't know what the fuck you guys are even watching.
Possessed cannons.
Yep.
You can get the soul of cannons.
Yep.
And that happened. Like, in the game.
I believe it. It's true.
It's smart.
Canonical.
We already covered Watch Dogs 2 with your rant.
Yeah, I think
guess
that's
we did.
literally everything.
I mean, yeah.
I'm like, I watched the gameplay, like, that looks like interesting gameplay. That is an insufferable premise.
Yeah, like everything we said about 1 perfectly applies to 2. So all the weird moral hangups and
He's
the
using
thing
social media to control your mind. No, maybe you're just dumb. I was shown a thing and can't control my Fuck you.
God, I just like Grand Theft Auto gets away with you doing all that horrible stuff because you are a horrible person. That's what that's what the story is about. So
Uh-huh.
it's so weird to have these like
Ubisoft main
yeah,
characters
yeah,
that
like
are
these guys
terrible
that-
but are supposed to be good guys.
yeah.
Save your money. Go watch Mr. Robot. You're fine.
Go watch Mr. Robot and Drive. Combine them in your head, and then go, okay, he was justified. But yeah, no, it's just the weirdest thing. Should note, the protagonist is a black male.
Are we
Right.
ready?
Progressive. Oh my
play?
God, no, that joke! I honestly didn't see it coming! I wasn't gonna make it!
IGN had to ask.
For
Are
those
we
who
ready
don't
to
know,
play?
the Starhawk coverage for fucking...
As a black man in Los Angeles.
Are gamers ready?
Starhawk coverage from E3 by IGN from years ago was like, are people ready to be a black guy in space? And everyone on the internet went, what? Is 90% of gamers Alabama the worst place?
You only don't like Watch Dogs 2 because you're racist.
Also, watching the
no! Are
watch-
you a prophet?
Watching the gameplay, I honestly, that is a lot like Watch Dogs 1. Like, I was just
Yeah, I
trying
thought
to
they
see
would
anything
spend more
new.
time refining it.
The only thing new it felt like that droid you shoot in the air.
Yeah. Well, there was also the droid you threw on the ground.
Yeah, I think of
Which is
Basically,
almost
they
identical
had a lot of
to
droid
the one
stuff,
in,
yeah.
like Wildlands. That looked really close to that. They were just like black.
Yeah,
It
there's-
looks like the
it's a
same
drone.
one.
I just... Yeah, that's a good point. I did expect it to look very different,
Yeah,
and then it didn't.
we have a new main character, but he doesn't seem to have anything really new except that.
Yeah.
He's hitting him with a rope with a ring on it, but that's hardly anything.
Is that what that was?
He has an
never got a
RC
good
car.
I don't know. It's like, yeah, his melee weapon. I couldn't figure it out when I watched the trailer the first time. It seemed like it was wire.
Yeah, some sort of
Seemed
thing.
like it was some kind of
It
really
was like
try-hard
an
shit.
elongated
Yeah.
blackjack, where it was just long. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Eh.
Um,
I'm very cold on that.
and then
I
they
did not
announced.
sweat the technique.
Then they announced Steep
Which I actually
Yeah.
walked out of because I had to do shit. I was like, I don't care.
because Eric had to let the dogs out.
I literally had to let the dogs out.
I made that joke the whole Ubisoft conference, and it ended with Eric having to leave to let the dogs out.
So yeah,
History has vindicated me.
Every Ubisoft game left the dogs out, though. Isn't that the point?
It's true.
so Steve seemed cool.
Steep did seem cool. It
Yeah,
had
it's
snowboarding,
like-
paragliding, wingsuit.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
drop in anywhere, get from the top of the mountain to the bottom mountain, however you feel like right now,
And then you can do time trials, basically.
and wipe out super hardcore.
And it seemed like you could set your own areas to do time trials and other people to challenge you on them.
Yeah, like I did this, you do this now, bitch.
I need that game to run well, so maybe that's a game I buy on PC or PlayStation 4 Neo. I don't know.
Right.
Um,
It's not going to look like that when it comes out because those Ubisoft and conference ones never do.
it
But
didn't
actually,
look
that one,
especially great.
that one has a release date. Like they actually,
yeah,
that one
was supposed to be by the end of this year, wasn't it?
maybe.
I just
Yeah.
I don't know, when it's a game that's moving that fast and snowboarding and
Yeah.
avoiding trees and shit, I would really like that to run well. This isn't some sort of PC Master Race. Oh, this game isn't worth playing because it's not 60. Because then that's most of games.
If you can't get the upgraded texture pack, then I don't really understand why you'd want to diminish your experience.
I think he had a stroke and now he's a member of the PC Master Race.
Where are the mods? I need my skateboards to have boobs.
I have to go.
360 tit flip.
I didn't realize that was a
360.
fetish of mine until just now.
360 tit flip.
Wow.
That's good. And that was Ubisoft. Overall, I would rank the conferences
That you've done so far?
EA,
Forgettable.
Ubisoft,
Yeah.
Bethesda.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Microsoft?
Yeah, I would say Microsoft was better than
Yeah.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
Bethesda didn't have much for me. And then at the top, Sony.
Yeah.
Pretty non-debatable.
Because I wouldn't really call Nintendo's a press conference.
It was
Yeah,
a
no.
game.
It was a thing separate. But yeah, Sony
I
had
didn't
the
even
best
write
conference.
Nintendo down because
I
it had
will say-
a
Nintendo
game.
was Reggie Vilsae coming out going like, we're going to change your fucking life with Zelda. But first,
Here's 40 minutes of Pokemon that makes
like,
even
I'm going to do a
Pokemon-
magic trick and make you hate seeing new Pokemon.
Here's 40 minutes that Zelda players absolutely hate.
I
And
want
we're
to
like,
say,
we like Pokemon. And then like the guy's playing, it's kind of a shithead. And we're like, okay, we get it. A little faster. But we didn't know. We'd look back on those moments and go, stop playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
Show the Zelda.
I want to say before we go into Sony conference,
The Sony Cavalcade.
yeah, that for me that was as close to a perfect conference I've ever seen out of E3
Sony's?
of Sony's conference.
Yeah, I have to agree. But we can do this at the end after we describe it. Like,
Okay.
we can describe
I just wanted to say like that was
Yeah.
I was floored almost the entire time.
So here's the greatest magic trick of all Sony did, right? The fucking thing starts out and it has an orchestra in front of the stage,
Which
and
plays the whole time.
Music.
Every trailer.
They're playing music, and it's like, oh, that sounds like God of War. It's got God of War tones.
We were debating
with the vocals.
what it was. I thought it was Last Guardian.
Yeah. And we're just going back and forth, and I'm like, no. The vocals sound really God of War, and they just keep hitting this note that 3 and 2 kind of went into with its music. And then they started up, and they pulled the greatest trick of all history, because they made me think, yeah, I want to buy that God of War game.
Right? Shit! I was like, what?
It's like got this styling to it, where it's a much closer, much measured action game. Like, it brings in the perspective, and you're not some idiot, like...
In a way that is informed by the characters as well.
Right. It's grounded in a way that, like, The Last of Us is, where you have character interaction and...
Kratos? Are you dad?
Yes, son. We can be a family again.
And it's just so nuts. The thing was so incredible, and I'm so excited to go into that lore and watch Kratos fuck it because they killed his wife.
It's like all through, like, I did not play any God of War game.
Any?
Really?
Ever.
Really. Ever.
Okay.
I played that demo on the PS2 for the first one when it was in software, etc.
Wow. I played 1 and 2.
But it's every time I see, like, because I'd watched other people play it for a while. And
I played the demo in my dark cave next to my painting.
I'd seen a bunch of the cutscenes from it. And it just seems like the whole time the Greek pantheon is going, God, Kratos, why are you killing us? No, stop it. I mean, except for a few of them who got all angry.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
The Norse pantheon.
It's so good.
It's the ones that aren't going to be super, let's punch face and see who falls down first, are going to be like, but we know exactly how we all die, and it's not you. What's going on?
That's sick.
The North cycle involves its own apocalypse, Ragnarok.
Yes.
They know how the world ends and is reborn. Kratos isn't in it. So they're like, you're not Fenrir. What the fuck is happening?
There's the fucking Fire Titan, I believe, in the trailer. And he just yells at Kratos some shit.
Yeah,
and then
blah, 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 Valhalla.
And it was just this fucking incredible moment because it's like, oh, there are tiny enemies on the bridge. They're going to attack your son. And then he just rips up through the bridge and he's like, ah!
There was a presentation at the latest E3 day where they had a meeting with Cory Balrog, who's the director of this.
Yeah.
And he said that there are actually like different groups of people and factions that all speak different languages.
Huh.
Which is why at the end when he was like, shoot him, son, the thing goes, wait.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow, shit.
That's cool.
I hear there's like a button to give your son orders.
There is a child button. Yeah.
So that could be
Presumably
neat. Yeah.
in the trailer is a button you would press to make your son shoot lightning arrows like he did.
right.
Yeah, because that sounded like a call out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really neat. And it looked like you were leveling up the sun and
Yeah.
yeah.
Which, I mean, that entire
Maybe
trailer...
praising it. Maybe that'll happen in the full game. There wasn't a lot in the...
Praise it!
There wasn't a lot in the trailer. But yeah, that trailer has basically everything you ever
I don't
needed to
think
see.
Kratos will ever praise his son.
Probably not.
I've heard some
Wait,
people-
no, maybe the game ends with, well, we killed all of Valhalla. High five!
Adequate.
And yeah, that moment at the end of the trailer where he almost Semper puts his hand on his son's shoulders and is like, no.
It's too much emotion. I'm too Kratos. Him coming to terms with emotions that aren't rage.
Because, the Greeks would be down with him having emotions. He's going to start his
and
emotional
touching
arc
young boys.
in Fenniscandia, where it's like, maybe I have feelings of affection for this sun creature. But then he runs into the whole Norse pantheon and we're like, feelings are for bitches. Set your weapons on fire and fight people.
Yeah, that trailer has everything you ever needed to see
I've
to
heard
sell
some
you
people
on a new God of
complain a bit that it was a bit too informed by Last of Us, that the perspective changed and it was more about...
Well, that was all of E3, so get over that real quick.
Okay, well...
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I loved that trailer, and I could kind of see where they're coming from, but it's like, that's assuming that style of game is inherently bad.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not going to take its combat from The Last of Us. It can't do that.
If it does,
No, but if you're going to take dynamic character storytelling from The Last of Us,
Oh, no.
good.
I've just seen that that is a complaint, that it seems a
I
bit too
have heard that as well. It's just like, what's wrong with you?
What do you-
That's
Oh my
good.
god, it's like this really awesome game.
How dare they?
I mean, that's the thing, though.
no.
Like, The Last of Us, there isn't a whole lot like it right now. So it's okay if the next few things from Sony...
There's about to be.
Right. It's okay if the next... Well, that's the thing, though. Like, there have been 4 years for other people to do that, and they haven't.
I'm trying to think, like, what else is actually informed by this?
I think
that
a
we
lot
saw
of
at E3.
Sony's offerings, honestly, like Days Gone, clearly
Oh,
taking
yeah.
The Last
Days
of
Gone,
Us.
I was reading an article where people it was about how The Last of Us 2 wasn't really mentioned at E3,
Yeah.
and how the article had said like a lot of people thought that was going to be The Last of Us 2, until later on when it turned out to be Days Gone. Then I'm like, have you seen The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Nobody who's played that game thought Days Gone was The Last of Us 2.
I was
Yeah.
terrified. Honestly, because Sony Ben has a history of getting leftovers.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Resistance and Uncharted? I thought The Last of Us was next. And it's like, hey, make the next Last of Us. And then the storytelling being, it doesn't hold the weight that The Last of Us does in every fucking moment. I was like, oh, shit. Just fucking threw that under the bus. Like,
Yeah,
here goes The Last of Us.
That thought never even crossed my mind because there's nothing that made me feel like that was The Last of
Well,
Us.
it's post-apocalyptic and it shows a lot of nature. Which, speaking of which, great thing about Sony's conference, great thing about Sony's portfolio. They're like, hey, we have all this rendering technology and all this great stuff, and things look
Grass
like real
forever.
life. We're gonna find narrative reasons to place things in fucking nature.
Yeah. No, I still wake up in the middle of the night from Uncharted 4 and go, fuck those trees!
Yeah.
I turned to my roommate while I was playing, like, I can't stop and look at this. I have to keep going or I'm never gonna leave.
Yeah.
God, just
That game's
exploring
just
that
full of
mountain
it.
with the Jeep. Jesus.
Yeah.
There's
and that
no
was
reason
cool-
to stop that chapter.
Yeah.
That section did a thing I've wanted video games to do my whole life.
Which was?
Like, okay, the NPCs start up some flavor dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm like one of them starts a sentence, but I'd already hit the button to get out of the Jeep to explore the thing.
Uh-huh.
And so Nathan Drake cuts in and he's like, wait a minute, guys, I'll be back.
That was so good.
And then when I'm done, I get back in the Jeep. And Sully turns around and goes, as you were saying, and they pick up the dialogue.
Yeah. It was incredible. It was really incredible.
It was like,
what I did, like, because that happened for me too. But what was also incredible is I'm driving and I hit a fucking rock. It's just barely low enough for me to make it over, but the kick from me hitting it's like gadoof, and everyone's like, oh, and holding, and they freak out. They're like, oh my god, you okay, Nathan? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Sorry about that. As you were saying, I was just like,
yeah, if you do it to them enough, they're like, oh, I guess you don't care. And then you come back, it's like, no, just give me a sec.
that's really hilarious.
But
Yeah.
we all
getting-
agreed God of War was amazing.
Yeah.
God of War stunning. I could not fathom a world in which I was like, another God of War. Yay!
Let's talk about how he had a weapon on his back, fastened in a way.
That made sense.
It was practical. I'm looking at you, Geralt from The Witcher.
And also stylish, because it worked and it had the Omega symbol on it. Fuck.
Yeah,
fucking-
I should. Yeah, this is the first God of War I'm legitimately excited for.
Me too.
Like, Kratos doesn't even seem like a terrible person anymore, which helps.
It does.
Which is such a weird thing. Like, you needed a few games of him being a shitbag for you to be like,
Yeah.
oh, this game where he's not a shitbag.
That's the weird thing.
Like, if he has this arc and he goes between being the father figure and being the horrible person he is, that can be interesting. What Kratos is
I
typically
mean, he's had
isn't.
some time. We're going from the pre-Bronze Golden Age all the way to the early European migration period. That's a huge chunk of time Kratos has been living in the woods.
And fucking the great thing is, like, as you were saying, even if it makes the arc from him being dad to terrible monster, that's interesting. So no matter what happens with the rest of that game, him being that at the beginning of it is fucking brilliant and awesome. And retroactively, by being that at the beginning of it, the other 3 games, Ascension's not real, the other 3 games are better because of it. Because you look at those and you're like, yeah, that was when he was like, you know, younger and like crazy mad over all that shit, and just the fire wouldn't die down inside of him. And then he killed them all, and it died down inside of him. Sometimes just a lot of killing is necessary.
Sometimes.
You know?
I mean, even then, his anger meter went up when he was a bit angry at his son.
Yeah.
But he, like,
that was beautiful.
contained it. It was like...
It is not time for Spartan Rage. I realized while I was talking about the timeline that means he was walking from Greece to Fenniscandia through Germania during the Roman conquest of Germania.
Who's going to stop him?
Right?
Exactly.
That is what happened in those woods.
You saw what he did to a fucking lava skeleton, right? He just fucking crushed its head against a rock and tossed it.
Are you up from the depths 30 stories tall?
Get the fuck out.
Trajan keeps wandering around his palace screaming, "Kratos, give me back my legions!"
And thus, we've successfully made 2 Godzilla animated series jokes references.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, next thing, Days Gone.
I'm not. Shut it down. Shut it all down. We're done here.
What is next?
GigaBoots was a mistake.
Days Gone.
Days Gone. Yeah. Days
Just
Gone.
a quick cinematic trailer.
Because you remember, because they had the first trailer, then the gameplay trailer. With
Right,
the first
right.
trailer, I spent the whole time going, maybe it's not zombies.
Right?
Yeah.
I really had hope for it not being zombies.
But at least.
Yeah, after it was zombies, it was interesting zombies.
Yeah,
It was-
like there was a gameplay thing that hadn't been done before with zombies where they're fast
It's
and
a river.
pile over each other.
It's a
and
river
there's
of zombies.
There's
Yeah.
fluid pathfinding.
Yeah.
Because Dead Rising had done a lot of zombies.
Yeah.
But this game does zombies as basically a force of nature that flows like
Right.
water after you. A
Right.
mound of flesh chasing you.
And Dead Rising doesn't really have good pathfinding for zombies. They sort of sequester themselves to areas a lot of the time.
Yeah,
and
usually-
they're really slow.
Right, they're not good at following you at all.
Meanwhile, this had seriously over 100 zombies on fucking screen pouring over the dead. Like, you shot them dead,
Yeah.
they would fall
Like
down,
the
get
obstacle,
crushed.
he'd get a few feet away, shoot a few to make a body wall, run, obstacle, turn around, shoot a few.
Because like the first time it like, okay, there's a horde of zombies. We've seen this before. But when he was running under that train car and they burst out of that car and just poured out like a fucking water fountain.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is different.
And there's
This
that
is-
part in the assembly factory where he runs through a thing that's lifted up.
Yeah.
That's a part of the line. He lowers it to slow them down.
Yeah.
Like, all of that's really cool and interesting new gameplay. It's nice.
Yeah.
What
Sony
did
has,
Two Dog do?
I don't know.
but it doesn't matter anymore.
Like, that guy went to that place to find Two Dog to discuss what happened.
and Two Dog went to that place to get away from whatever that guy came for.
Shit.
But the idea that it's an open world, this game's going to be an open world and you're like a bounty hunter, basically,
Yeah, on your motorbike.
is really cool.
See, like that, it gets my hopes up for that thing that I always love in a video game where they're like, do this, and you roll up and you're like, not worth it.
Maybe I say I couldn't find him.
I always want that to be a valid choice in a video game.
He's probably dead. Let's just be fair.
They also showed right after that. Were there any last comments on Days Gone?
Not for me. Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised I'm interested in a zombie game.
I probably won't play it because I'm scared.
You're scared?
I'm scared. Because that was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's gonna be one of those white knuckle, like, should I start the next area? Too much of a bitch.
I'm academically interested in it, but not enough to play it because I'm scared.
Gotcha. Bob, are you a bitch?
I mean, that doesn't look like it was that scary. Like,
Okay,
it doesn't have the
okay.
scary stuff that, like,
That sounds like he ain't a bitch.
PT in the Resident Evil stuff, like what they did with
That's
the new one.
two different magnitudes.
It is,
Like,
it is.
PT's this scary and fucking
Yeah,
Resident
no,
Evil.
PT is like the scariest thing I've ever played.
Yeah, I was screaming angrily terrified at the TV, make it stop.
Me and Eric got a null session, and we
Yeah.
were still terrified.
We were still like clinging to each other. What's in that bathroom? Let's go back to the bathroom.
Check in the bathroom. It's your turn to go in the bathroom.
Because, RNGesus came to save your ass. It's just firing blanks for an hour straight for some reason.
Yeah,
But the-
meanwhile, you were trapped in a terror dimension.
Yeah. This is what you get for not live streaming.
I still have nightmares about that refrigerator.
Yeah, no, that. Jesus.
Hey, let's talk about The Last Guardian. I like
good.
this trailer a lot more than any of them up until now because it showed a lot more of like, here's what you can expect gameplay-wise from this game.
Absolutely.
Whereas last year was kind of like a cutscene hallway where it was like you run across this bridge and then this thing happens, you
Yeah.
need to help that thing.
Just a little jumping, running, jumping, climbing trees.
But it wasn't like you legitimately, okay, you need to pull this thing and you're being chased by the soldiers, so you run away and you escape and fuck both of you. And
but yeah, like we're getting footage. It's not like Rome with the Last Guardian. No, it's like, no, we promise it's real. We are gonna put it out.
yeah, and I thought it looked really promising this year, especially with the evil dog bird.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Maybe
Or
it's
there's
just
more than
misunderstood.
one, which made me realize I hadn't considered the possibility of the kid being the guardian, the last guardian.
right.
I had always assumed it was
By the end
bird.
of it, he's going to have the horns and he's
Yeah,
going
he
to
had
be
different
Geico.
horns. There was more than one.
Like, he's gonna find that fucking Wanda sword and like, no, kid, no. Where's the button to put it back in the box? I can revive my dead girlfriend. No.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Maybe that's never gone well for anyone.
Anyone?
Can I revive my dead griffin monster?
Sure, why not?
Is that okay?
It was already a crime against God, so if we have an Elric scenario, it's gonna be the same, you know?
And Coolest Fall release date, October.
Yeah, that's actually coming out this year.
What?
4 months.
Yeah.
Just
Crazy.
It is real.
if Bloodstained came out this year, this would be the best year in gaming maybe ever.
yeah.
It's
Well,
already
we would
insanely good.
Yeah.
It is so insanely.
We are
good.
closely approaching the 1982 of video games.
Or the 1994.
Well, he was saying 1982 in reference to the movie industry, where all the greats came out in
Right,
82.
okay.
Whereas in gaming, the only year beforehand was 94.
Yeah.
Which, good fucking lord.
That year.
94 was good.
Next
in any
year.
case, moving on. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Which, by the way, all
That
these,
game somehow found a way to look even better.
all
Guys.
these things we just said were back to back to back. No interruptions.
No talking
No
asshole.
one talking over it. Nothing. Just go.
Horizon, the thing that gets me, I mean, even outside of how good the game looks, we had one trailer at E3 last year, another trailer like a week before E3. The hype train has not slowed down in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can just keep showing us more, and it keeps looking amazing.
Right? I'm like, oh, she has a weird backstory? Oh, there's stuff I don't know? Oh, she's a techno shaman? Oh, there's a map, but not a mini map?
And this is really open world, and apparently, like, people who are playing the demo on the show floor, they're talking about you could go around to the villages, just talk to people. They're just there, and you can talk to them instead of going and taking the mission immediately. It's so fucking nuts!
Yeah, I'm like, I'm really jaded when it comes to open world games, but it seems like people are making interesting open world
Right,
games.
because
finally.
normally the gameplay itself suffers when you make open world. Like, you and I have had discussions where it's like, open world's kind of killing the industry because nobody's making
Look at Watch
polished,
Dogs.
making
Because every
polished
time you make a
experiences.
game not open world, people bitch.
Which
Where's
is-
my freedom of choice?
I need
Play the fucking game.
I need 80 hours of gameplay, otherwise it's not worth my $60. You know, Chrono Trigger was $80 and only 12 hours, right?
I mean, the thing that keeps me most interested in wanting to come back to that game are the robots designs.
Yeah,
like, I
that's-
want to see
that
so
whole
much
thing
more
is
of those
fucking amazing.
techno beasts.
Every time I see him move, I learn something new about
that
him.
radar head giraffe gets me every time.
Yeah, no, that thing is fucking
Oh.
crazy art book for...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That
This
is
is last
concept
time.
art just unfiltered in the game.
It was just the last time I noticed the Watchers, like, they've got their legs into the central thoracic cavity, and their whole spine tail thing is a single unit that
Yeah, it
moves
just-
in and out.
and
Yeah.
then they're running the tails more out, and they're out there feeding. Oh, it's good.
All of this can be attributed just to Naughty Dog pulling off The Last of Us. Like, that was the thing that Sony needed to be like, oh, new IPs can sell. You're all free. You don't need to make another Killzone.
God.
You don't need to make another Infamous, which they're probably not. They're making a new IP. So I'm really excited for next year
Wow.
when we get to see Sucker Punch's new game, because I love Sucker Punch.
Yeah, they do good work. They do good, solid work.
But yeah, so it just keeps going and going. Detroit.
Detroit looked.
Was that seriously before anyone talked again?
Yes.
Yeah.
God, that montage was good.
It was just boom, 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 boom. Like, I think someone talked after Days Gone.
Okay, maybe.
It was like, Detroit, this is the game you wanted these guys to make.
Yeah.
Really, I wanted them to make that comedy thing with the wizard they showed off a few years ago.
right.
But this is good too.
This is amazing. Like, it's Blade Runner, where you play as an android, hunting androids instead. And I love that.
But you're not even staying as him. You are. I remember someone was saying from the floor that David Cage was like, you're hopping between.
And
people's
also,
stories.
it says like at the end of that trailer, it's like this is our story.
Yeah.
Is in
You
other.
never play as a human.
I
You
thought
only
this
play
meaning
as
the
an
game, not
android.
this as in this one incident.
I'm
but
really
that's
terrified.
cool.
Or
Right.
Mandroid.
Because, I mean, if that game culminates in that hostage situation, I'm going to be real here. The first several times I play through it, I'm going to just make the decisions I would. That girl's going to die.
Yeah.
Because that guy's not going to listen to me tell him to stop being a bitch,
And
put the gun down, and let's go have this out like
And
men.
because it's by Quantic Dream, the game's gonna keep going. That's not a null state. You just go from there. So that game looked cool. Like
So good.
the ability
And,
to look
like,
at-
It looks like it had enough choices finally. Like I don't feel like any of the others hit that peak level of choice.
And like they're putting so much emphasis on the replayability of any scenario. Of just like, look at all these branching paths.
Yeah.
You can do this so
Do
many
it again,
different ways.
try it again, see what's up.
And that's cool because that's what that horror game that came out last summer.
Until Dawn.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what that did better than the David Cage stuff.
Right.
Where it was just like, oh no, these small things all add up to something, and if you
God.
did it wrong,
We had such a good run of that game going till right near the end.
yep. Or it's just like, hey, look, they're all alive.
Like the
Everything's
last scene, it was like, fuck up, fuck up, fuck up, fuck up.
like a great horror movie.
Yeah.
That's great. That is awesome, man. I love Detroit. Like I just that universe is so much better than the ones they have been doing. Beyond Two Souls.
Yep.
That didn't get me.
no.
Heavy Rain was cool, but the universe wasn't interesting. Just the idea that it's this crime thing, like you're gonna solve these stories and do this in what is unabashedly like Blade Runner's cool. Just make it future sleek instead of future filth.
Yeah.
Ex Machina's cool.
Yeah, Ex Machina is cool. Yeah, I mean,
That whole trailer, like the one of the last endings where like he gets the girl away, like, okay, I trust you, and he lets her go, and the sniper starts shooting him, and he's like, you lied to me, and like you killed 2 police officers and held a little girl hostage.
I'm allowed to lie.
Suck Robo Dicks in hell. I know.
I thought it was pretty like that, and the moment where he's like, you're not gonna live through this, or the guy threatens him, and he's like, I'm not alive. Like both of those lines, I was like, okay.
Like, yeah, I'm that guy in the Star Wars games where I'm like, I'm a droid, I have rights. Fuck you. This game's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm so fucking hyped. Now the best part, because it's not a perfect Sony conference unless Sony comes out and very tactfully does some with the fucking knife in their stomach. They come out and they're like, all of these great, beautiful, immersive experiences are possible because of all of our great studios around the world working, and the fact we put the hardware necessary in the box in the first place. So after the Scorpio thing being the cap
That's
of the
attaching a
micro
knife to a food processor and putting it on high.
I feel like they did that right after all the VR stuff because the thing with Scorpio is they said, oh, now
That's
we can
true.
do VR.
That's
And it's
true.
like,
Yeah.
no, we can just do VR.
Right. And they did mention that a lot in the Scorpio thing. They're like, we really pack in with this box the power to do VR on a console. And then Sony comes out after the VR showcase, which was right after Detroit.
Oh man, the VR showcase was actually
It
really
was
good.
actually really good.
And we got a price point for it,
Not
too.
just Dan's
Price
going to
point.
buy this because he's an
Right?
idiot.
'Cause it's like, this works in VR, this works in VR, this works in VR, this was made for VR, this was made for VR, this was made for VR, 50 games in VR. I'm like,
And then it's
Sony,
like,
Sony does know how to support
things?
a thing?
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
This isn't PlayStation Move. Sony legitimately goes,
This isn't
"If this-
PlayStation Vita.
If this works, this is, and it's a good thing Microsoft's sort of like also on PC. If this works, if VR hits and Sony is the one with all the software to really push it, that isn't like I can get this game on this platform or that platform, the slight exclusive titles difference. The difference between VR and not VR is fucking like, oh, and this Wonder Box puts you in a different dimension, you idiot.
It's one of those things of coming from the outside. If VR does hit mainstream, if it catches it,
Right.
it's the difference between learning how to buy a PC and getting one of the things that works on PC, and how much money that's going to cost,
Right.
how much time that's going to cost, versus it's under $1,000 0 to VR to get a PS4 and a Morpheus.
Yeah. And like the ease of use is way closer to say an iPhone for the fucking PlayStation VR as opposed to Oculus, where you have drivers for your graphics card. You have to have certain levels of hardware. It's whatever. In any case, point is, this showcase was really good. It started out with Resident Evil 7, technically.
Yeah, which
where
is a
most of
sick
the
logo.
trailer plays aloof about like, oh,
Right.
this is all going to be in VR the whole game, and then like it's just PT looking the whole thing, and then it's revealed at the end. Oh, this is Resident Evil 7. This demo's out now.
With a slick ass title. I remember like the joke the whole day was, it's like, it's Resident. Was Resident Evil a horror game? I think. Shit, Sean. Did Resident Evil used to be a horror game? Oh fuck.
Me and Dan were still going back and forth on the live stream for Resident Evil that we did.
Yeah.
About, is it going to be this for the whole thing? Is it going to be this for a creepy event? Or are we going to get to the point where it's switching between this and regular Resident
And
Evil?
Resident Evil 6.
Where you're playing as Chris
That would be
Redfield
fucking
punching
amazing.
stuff.
Chris Boulder punching Redfield.
Like you're trying to solve the mystery in the creepy white knuckle scary house. God, chapter ends. Okay.
Chris Hamsept Redfield.
Yeah. It just...
That
Really
demo might
interested
be
to hear more.
A tech demo, PT style.
They've said that demo isn't in the game. Like, that is a wholly separate
Okay.
thing.
And the game's coming out in January.
God,
so whatever
which is
it is...
crazy.
Every
Yeah,
now and then
that's
I still think
insane.
of it. Like,
There,
remember that
it's-
trailer that came out for what game was PT going to be?
Silent
Silent
Hills.
Hills. Remember the trailer they put out for it?
Yeah.
I just every now and then I'm like, I'm really sad that was canceled. I'm glad that never saw the light of day because that trailer horrified the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I'm glad you don't exist. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm glad.
For my own soul.
So yeah, I'm really excited over Resident Evil 7 coming out only 7 months from now. Like, that announcement being that close to it coming out is insane. It's coming out in January. But the next thing is when it really kicked the VR showcase into overdrive, and they showed a bunch of things that were not all, like, some of these are dreams for VR. Like, Farpoint's pretty cool. It was the first one. You're on Mars, and all
Things
of
are
your
weird.
systems are down.
Well, they said they don't
Well,
know the
that's
environment
right.
or place.
Yeah, so it's not Mars, it's Mars-like.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is unknown, the location is unknown, all this other stuff, and you're just stranded, and you're making your way around with, like, an assault rifle that's controlled in full 3D space in VR.
Yeah.
So, and the laser sight is only visible if you bring it in front of you, right?
Yeah, the way laser sights work.
Which is great. I don't know, small things like that.
Oh yeah.
It looked really, really cool. Like, I
There wasn't a
don't-
whole lot of it.
I don't know how to describe it. Like, it just looked fucking dope. But yeah, so that was shown first. X-Wing VR mission.
That music came out. I was like, lock and load. Like, just... That thing where the ships start doing their thing and the lasers go. I was like, let's go!
Yeah, fucking...
I hope that's actually, like, something that feels playable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm worried. You'll just be basically riding the X-Wing. You don't
Oh,
get
that it's on rails?
Yeah.
That you're
I don't
riding
know,
and not
like, I
piloting
mean,
it.
Valkyrie
Yeah,
is
if
the same thing.
Yeah, but
If it's on rails, that's okay. As
There was
long
that
as
Star
you
Wars
actually
arcade
aim
game
and shoot
that every
stuff.
movie
and-
theater had. Where you had the one joystick and like
the
the first
X-Wing
one
game,
was
yeah.
the first one was that, and then like the second part was the lightsaber fight. And
Yeah.
And if it was just that and like actually really well put together, that'd be great. But I'm just worried that you won't be doing anything.
I mean,
It'll
it
just
is
be a ride.
Battlefront. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
It'll look and sound amazing, but the control may be a little weird.
Then it was Rocksteady announcing an Arkham Batman VR experience.
Yeah, which had
And it was actually Rocksteady was the weirdest part to me. I'm like, really?
It had
thought
none
you guys were
gameplay,
just super
so
done.
We were.
Right.
Yeah,
not
but
really
even the
attached to it.
announcement of that super
Yeah.
weird. I mean, I know Sony and Warner Brothers are really tight, just because Lego and Batman and all those other things that are Warner Brothers. They're they have the exclusive pack-ins for every Arkham game.
They do.
Every, even the bad ones. Bob's like, is that everyone? And then the internet just takes a screenshot of him making a shit-eating grin, and it's like, find this man, kill him. Final Fantasy 15 VR looked hilarious.
That was so dumb.
Because it's like, oh, the main character has the ability to teleport to a sword, so of course you can do that and just shoot.
When it shows Prospero or whatever in game with the PlayStation VR, turning to the camera and going,
Yeah! Like, that was great.
that was
Never changed.
hilarious.
How is that going to run well enough to do that? I guess if they can narrow it down to that just small encounter, maybe they can make it work.
Believe in the magic.
I mean, the best part of that was just sitting in the bro car with Sid. It was like, yeah, I could get behind this.
Yeah.
Right behind. Anyway.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Okay.
So not only is this VR. Not only is this VR, that game was unrecognizable as Call of Duty until like halfway through because I'm like, Colony Wars? Ace Combat? Like, you were like, is this Ace
like, we're all
Combat
trying
in
to get
space?
When I was very young, I watched a stand-up set done by a woman. Mm-hmm. Really good. Halfway through, she starts telling a story. And then some of the facts are kind of weird. I'm like, wait, some of these pronouns are... And she realizes the audience isn't following her. She's like, oh, no, I'm a lesbian. I don't mention that at the start of my set. I wait till about now, because now... And this was in the 90s.
Right.
I'm like, so now the only thing that's different is you. And that's how I felt about that Call of Duty trailer.
Yes.
Like, when I found out it was Call of Duty, I'm like, good thing you didn't tell me up front.
Right? Yeah. Like, it was so amazing. They had such a good feel for, like, you're on this spaceship and you're walking and talking to the general, and then you get in your fucking dope-ass spaceship within a spaceship to go fight other spaceships.
Wasn't that a flying shooter for a while before
Yes,
you
was. Like, welcome to Wing Commander, bitch.
And then you get out of your ship and you're Space Spider-Man.
Everyone was so fucking hyped. The moment we realized it was Call of Duty, we're like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, the internet hated Infinite Warfare. What's happening?
What's happening? Fading.
I think even that new trailer has like 10,000, 20,000 downvotes. It's like,
Yeah.
did you watch it? That was actually good.
Yeah, it's like this weird internet hate machine now. Like, the majority of its votes are downvotes because they decided they hated it the last time they saw it.
At some point, the internet decided that they didn't want any more Call of Duty games that weren't World War II, and they're now hating.
Yeah, there's nothing that can save it from those people at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, I think when those people are turned off, and everyone in our fucking party thought that game looked dope,
Yeah.
that is of large potential for sales.
Yeah. Because if Titanfall 2 weren't this year, I would just...
This is the one time where I'm like, brainless cod heads, save us all.
Yeah, like that's the thing. We have Titanfall 2 and Call of Duty both looking incredible. And it's just like, what?
You guys made Ghosts last time you showed up.
They made the worst and worst selling Call of Duty. And this time around, they're like, by the way, here's the only good looking Call of Duty in 8 years. And I'm like, or 7 years. Either way, long fucking time.
And we made your fucking remaster for you, whatever.
Fine.
And
Yeah.
there's no part of that trailer where any of the plot stuff seemed it was
Overwrought?
Right, like the Black Ops plot of
Pay respects.
Yeah.
Pay that sort of shit.
yeah, that and just completely insane like government scandals, conspiracy.
You're a
garbage.
spaceman in space. Go do space things. I'm like, y'all do space
great
things.
thing
I
is,
don't
like-
care if it's like specifically the plot from Killzone Shadowfall with all the same voice acting literally ripped from that disc. I don't care. I got through Killzone Shadowfall with that shit. I'll get through this with it.
You know, as bad as Killzone Shadowfall plot was, I believe it was better than the Black Ops games.
Yeah.
Probably.
Although, God, that was terrible.
It was brutal, unrelenting.
Absolutely barbaric.
And I think what the lack of that overwrought plot is because, like, they get to the battle. Like, the last trailer, they're on Earth, and for some reason people are like, oh, it's really dumb. And I'm like, what's really dumb about it? Like, it's a Call of Duty game where they're like, oh, shit, the Outer Space Federation came to fuck us. And I'm like, that, cool.
Sounds like a job for a Gundam.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like that Zone of the Enders 2 thing of like, oh, man, we're having problems with Mars. Gotta go up into space and
Wait.
show them where they belong.
I hadn't thought of that. We get to fight Fetty Scum.
Yes. So, like, this was weirdly a really, like, it's staggering how cool that game looks.
Call of Duty. We've seen the nuke, right? We've seen like the orbitals. Call of Duty would drop Side 6 on Australia.
Yeah.
They would do it.
Oh, colony drops. Yes.
Press X to commit genocide.
Dude, what?
Mate.
That's so stupid.
Oh my god. You play this on the Earthling side. You wouldn't be the. Oh, wait. You could do
You
this
could
with
switch sides.
perspectives.
Yep,
Oh,
exactly.
man.
What's the name of the
Remember,
weapon?
no Xeon.
What's the name of the weapon in Ender's Game? The doc something?
The doctor device.
MD
The
device.
doctor device. Yeah, MD. That. Just watch it boil and fucking. Ugh.
Watch the Earth evaporate.
Basically, yeah.
Next thing, because we're
So all of this hype, so high.
It's half
fucking
past, so-
hype central, right? Fucking unbelievable. Like, oh my god, stop it! Too good. And then like we're remastering Crash 1
No.
through 3.
No, the orchestra. It stops the trailer. The orchestra starts up with the Crash 3 theme.
The
Yeah,
whole
I know.
stage is projected with fucking Crash.
Fucking Crash
He's
scenery.
walking
The
out,
opening shot from 1. The beach with the fucking. And I'm
he's
just like.
walking out, Crash shadow, footprints. Like they've stopped the trailers. They've stopped the trailer shotgun. This guy's here to tell us something important. Crash Bandicoot, motherfuckers. We're redoing this one. Like it was like 1, 2, and Warp.
3.
Like we're remastering them all, and also
And the crowd's going insane.
also
Insane.
Skylanders.
And then you could hear the audience. And they went, oh.
This is what we have to pay.
Right.
This is the price.
For a remaster.
Fever
What a high price.
pitch.
It was a fucking square wave. It was up here. Ka-chunk!
They had
And
to
then
pay
it
the
was
price. It was inevitable.
Mr. Anderson.
To get Crash in there, they had to pay that Skylanders price.
I just...
That was definitely the worst
It was
part
a
of the-
low point.
Yeah.
And then they followed it up with Lego Star Wars.
Which was a little bit better. This was entertaining. It wasn't groundbreaking like
Every
everything
time
else.
I've played a Lego game, I've almost fallen asleep.
It
And I
was
am
a-
not exaggerating.
Every
was a
time we've
break.
tried to quick play a Lego game, it has broken.
Yeah.
It was a break. From all the hype shit, we needed to breathe.
It was. We did need a break.
And then after Lego Star Wars, it was Death Stranding.
Which,
Oh, that was insane.
That was so
that
that was
whole thing.
That, like the intro for
greatest
Kojima.
stage walk-on in history.
I mean, he fucked it up, but who cares?
Right?
Not
Supposed to-
him.
You're supposed to keep pace with the light going
He
on
doesn't
stage.
need these fucking tiles.
Yeah. We didn't care. He was like, and then he's like, I'm back, and everyone lost their shit.
unbelievably
Oh my
crazy.
god.
It's like, I'm back. I'm still making PT. Naked Norman Reedus.
Suck my
actually
dick,
supposed to
you
be
machine, Pinko machine fucks.
It's actually supposed to be some sort of action game, as they've said.
Yeah.
So
That's
Dan was talking about the possibility of this just being Zones of the Enders, and that excites me.
yeah, because it could. The iconography for the studio is
Norman
actually
Reedus,
stuff
if you let go
taken
of that fetus,
from
your
some of
heart
the
and
Enders
lungs will
concept
fail.
art. So the idea of them going crazy, more religious, crazy, more apocrypha, like End of Ava style, and just here's your new Zone of the Enders. It's better than ever and crazy as
At this
fuck.
point, Kojima's not just unsupervised. He is beyond supervision. No one can stop him now.
And with Mark Cerny at his side, he will remake this world.
Can't stop me. Can't stop me. Anyway. No, for that trailer, like, okay, Norman Reedus, weird iconography, whatever. There is almost nothing more ominous or threatening than 5 indistinct dots in the distance above you, and then they go away.
And they're humanoid.
Yeah.
They're human shapes just floating towards him, and like you can't tell
Yeah.
Guys,
at first, but then like you look at the spacing of them because there are 5 of them, and it's spaced like boom, 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 and they're just getting further apart and bigger as they come at him, and then they just fade away, and it's like, what the fuck is any of this? Ah!
honestly, what I'm more immediately concerned about is the direct threat of massive crab battle, the first part of that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of crabs.
They don't appear to be giants or enemy, but they also appear to have no weaknesses.
A trade-off for sure. And then, because Days Gone was technically the last gameplay demo, the last thing, well, kind of the last thing we're going to talk about, is Spider-Man game made by Insomniac,
Yeah, it
which is
started
crazy.
with Insomniac, then some voiceover, and then Marvel. So
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
And
Yeah, you just hear a quip from Spider-Man. I'm like, no
Let's go.
fucking way, and it's like Marvel, and I'm just like, what?
So like, that's
Yeah.
a weird costume, are they? And then I read up and I'm like, yeah, no, it's not attached to this movie or that movie or this run of the comics.
Oh,
They're
yeah?
just making their own thing.
Apparently,
Weird.
Cool.
I guess that works.
That's the best thing. Like Arkham dealt with that really well. If we can have a Spider-Man Arkham thing,
Yeah, I mean, it's just so crazy. Like, Insomniac making a Spider-Man game is sort of the shit you would hear fanboys say. Like, oh, I wish this great studio
Yeah, like
would
that
make
was
this.
one of those rumors that popped up a few months ago of like, oh yeah, no, Sony is making a first-party Spider-Man game,
And
it's like,
and everyone's like, why would they do that?
that sounds amazing. It can't be real.
Yeah.
it's too good for this world.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yep.
Please be
Like,
excited.
like not since all
I am.
all those
Done.
PS2 Spider-Man games have I looked forward to a Spider-Man game.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been hyped for a Spider-Man game. Maybe never. It's been since never.
Yeah.
Here's the weird part. I don't believe we've talked to you two. Maybe you guys read it about this. Red Dead was apparently
Yeah,
supposed
no,
to
I read
end
that article, yeah.
And it didn't because the scene involves him shooting innocent people in a bar.
It went full no Russian and they're like,
So,
A good decision was made that day.
yeah.
which was one of the blocks on my bingo chart.
Really?
They made a sound business decision.
Yep.
Wow. That bingo chart ended up way better than.
Yeah, there are a few
What was
squares
it,
on that
5
thing.
or 6 that by
were
the end of it all?
expecting
Kind of a bunch.
That's
I'm
insane.
terrified. I specifically wrote that shit sarcastically.
And that's how you know. That's how you know Sony's conference was the real E3 of dreams.
The phrase "Fantasy Star Ocean" was on there online. You mother.
It was, but I feel like that we can get past this because we're a family.
Yeah.
You're never getting it.
And the only other thing we have to talk about, well, actually, real quick, we touched on this earlier. I feel like this E3 conference from Sony was the best one ever.
Yeah.
Like God of
yeah.
War, I'm interested. It looks great. It looks great and different and something we don't really have. Horizon looks even better than it did the last time. And fucking Death Stranding has me so happy. I'm like, yes, AAA that shit. Sign me the
It
fuck
was
up.
So the whole thing was devoid of such of the pompous bullshit of other conferences.
didn't have
where
to
we're
lis- like,
talking about
The
things
E3
like,
of Dreams even had Call of Duty spending fucking 10 minutes on stage rambling about a piece of shit.
we're gonna just let the game speak for itself because you're not children and you play games and you can get what's going on. We don't have to tell you.
One thing that really helped it for me, they didn't let anyone from other companies come on their stage.
Yeah.
It was all Sony and then Kojima. And Kojima's welcome on any stage.
It's just like,
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I think it was better than last
Except for that slight dip with Skylanders and Lego,
year. Which is Activision's fault. Fuck those guys.
which is just a necessary evil, as close to perfect as they've ever gotten for a conference.
I think there was some mention of Destiny somewhere, but I think it was in a sizzle reel.
Maybe.
Yeah, at the
Because,
end.
like,
I feel like
I think
we
Sony
definitely
realizes...
didn't have any like 5-minute spiel of the new Destiny expansion is going
Yeah,
to
no.
change your
Yeah,
life.
and,
Which
like,
is thank you.
Sony realizes that bet they made went south. Like, Destiny didn't pay off as much as they were hoping it
sadly, that was not a square on my bingo sheet that turned out to be true.
would. What was...
That the real Bungie shows up, like they got out of some basement and promised to make Destiny the way they should have.
What was it? I was watching something and some journalist was like, yeah, they make it sound like this DLC, this expansion is just what they're doing until they can make the real Destiny and fix all the problems. And Jeff Gerstmann was like, I feel like everything they've been doing since 6 months before the launch of original Destiny is exactly that.
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't what we want. We don't want this. Look, But yeah, so Nintendo. The next day, Nintendo starts up, and they make us go, hey, things other than Sony can be incredible.
Yeah, I had little to no anything. Hype, expectations, anything for the Zelda. I was
Yeah.
like, all right,
And
they're
I-
showing it.
I haven't liked a Zelda since Wind Waker. Like, I just look at them, and what's in them doesn't make me go, hey, play me. I'm interesting and new in these amazing ways. So,
Like we can list every feature they showed in the numerous sections of gameplay they showed us. We could, but what you need to understand is how deeply that footage emotionally resonated. I have not felt this way, this special Zelda emotion that I have, since like the first time I rolled up on parasitic armored arachnid Queen Goma.
yeah.
I have not felt this way in a long time. I want to go on an adventure. There's great shit out there and I want to see it.
Yeah. It's so good. Like,
We were
Yeah, like no trailer
yelling
would do that justice.
and
Like,
screaming during that first trailer.
Like every 2 minutes, like attentive silence. And then, oh!
Like, for fuck's sake, and it does absolutely everything it can to redefine what Zelda is, and yet, at no point did anyone go, that's
Right.
not Zelda. We go,
Fucking-
yeah!
It changes everything and no one's pissed.
This changes nothing. Your dick's still up. It changes nothing.
Like someone would leave the room like, don't come back in, they did a thing.
Yeah. Oh, man. They find, like, I played Shadow of the Colossus, and I'm like, why can't Zelda be like this? And somewhere in the 13 or 11 years since that, I was like, it just can't. And then they did it. They're like, ha, I can't. All it took was 6 years making this.
And like you look at all the decisions Nintendo has made in the last several years and go, maybe it's because everyone important was making this game.
Yeah.
And just the rest of the company burned while they did it.
So then, like, since it's coming out on the NX and the Wii U, why not just buy the NX and probably get a better frame rate?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was telling
I
that
have a
earlier.
Wii U and I'm fine.
Some of the journalists have said
a better version of that.
It kind of runs a little garbo on it.
Yeah, I've
Some of
seen
the
some
textures are
frame
bad.
drops and things,
Yeah.
and
Even then, even on that, it still looks good.
like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, that game looks like that's on my list of dream games. Like,
Yeah.
fucking, oh, that thing's real? Okay, take it off the dream game list. Huh? Fucking, if Death Stranding is Zone of the Enders, that too comes off the dream game.
I'm getting more and more comfortable with actually having to buy an NX.
For me, it's actually having to buy games.
Like I always promised myself that I would not buy a Nintendo console for one game, Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
For me, the level of hype was only reached way back when I was a child and not a child, like high school, middle school, high school, where I read a magazine where Peter Molyneux was talking about Fable.
Yeah.
And I had never in my life been so excited for a game like that, dreaming about it. Like everything he said sounded amazing.
Yep.
Played the game later, was fine. This
No, it fucking wasn't.
gets me
Like
hot
fucking
and bothered.
Christ came down and he said, I have cleared all debts. This is the game you have waited
All
for.
are welcome in my kingdom.
I mean, for fuck's sake, not only is there, like, how radically different the gameplay is, and how radically different it's, like, one of my major turnoffs with every fucking Zelda game since Ocarina of Time, and also kind of including Ocarina of Time, is how it starts, and it's like, enjoy the next hour of cutscenes and talking and reading, and not playing a fun game.
Oh, I love that shit.
This one starts, and it's like, you wake up in a vat of blue gel because you are in the
Yeah,
Chamber of Resurrection.
What we saw from that treehouse has a lot of very interesting lore implications.
Yes! God damn it!
Also the presence of clearly the Temple of Time from Ocarina.
Yeah.
And it's even labeled.
And then you just go. Like you collect some treasure chests for some pants, and then you go.
You trade the spirit orbs you get from the trials with the old man for things. You give him the spirit orbs out of your body.
Like Wind Waker didn't have... It had like 2 dungeons, it wasn't enough. Oh, this game? We didn't even see dungeons. It was just shrines.
Right, those
There's like 100 of them.
Yeah, they said there were over 100 of those weird challenge shrines. And
Which
those
there's
were
not a
good.
sentence you could tell me more that excites me like that. Those fucking challenge rooms in Super Mario Sunshine were the only good part.
It was so much.
So
Like
good.
seeing the like reaching applications of all the things he got from the shrines too was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I got a magnet thing, so now I can literally pick up treasure chests and bring them to me.
Zelda, it has found that room in your heart where your inner child lives. It has kicked open the door in a Peter Pan costume, handed you a sword, and shouted, "We're going on an adventure."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can snowboard.
You could take off your shield and just snowboard down a mountain.
Do you want to do it? You can.
It took
I mean, there's so much.
a ton of open world concepts over the years and integrated them so well as to be like, why wasn't this here all the whole time?
Yeah. I'm used to the game industry. I've had countless conversations with Bob where it's like, it seems like every game that comes out isn't aimed at me in the slightest. Like, they're just interested in eating 80 hours of your time with this fucking game that everyone agrees controls like shit and is kind of unstable, and, like, the side missions are really repetitive and uninteresting. And then this comes out, and it's like, here's Shadow of the Colossus with this giant open world, and it's beautiful.
Added to that, every Zelda, both Zeldas before this was like, here's some compromises we made to put forward our fucking gimmicky technology.
Yeah.
So we had to deal with that, and here it's just buttons and go.
Several months from now, I will be angry that Link's right-handed. But that has not been able to bubble to the surface yet.
Don't worry. He'll be left-handed on the NX. Thus, proving the Wii and Wii U are the false consoles.
It's like they keep talking about how, like, oh, the area we showed off is only a very small area of the game, and I'm like, okay. But then, like, someone stands on a big-ass tower and, like, looks in the distance and marks that spot, looks in the distance and marks that spot, pulls to the map like, oh, they're really far apart on that map, and this is the map of the area you're in, and the map just fucking goes.
Yeah. I mean, this looks so good that I need time off from work to play it.
Yeah.
A thing I have not done since Metal Gear Solid 4.
You don't want to have to call your boss like, no, you don't understand.
Human words can't really express this. If you come over here, if you come over here and you don't have the right expression on your face, I might have to kill you because you're not human. I'm sorry. It's just.
I mean, everything I saw, I didn't see anything that I was disappointed by. That was like, that doesn't seem right. Everything
was like,
felt
oh, you can
new
do this?
and old and good and great.
The bombs are physics driven, and you can have different shape bombs in order to deal with that.
It's a new thing.
You can get an axe and cut down trees and walk on the trees. You can climb anything.
You've got a magnet thing. Just pick up metal shit and throw your weapon at something, and then use the magnet thing to pick your weapon up. Should I draw it back and use it again, or should I just use the magnet thing to swing it?
I mean, I wandered around friggin' Shadow of the Colossus world forever because I love the way you can climb almost anything.
Yes, in this you can climb literally everything.
This Zelda has a jump button.
Yes! Oh. And once again, I would like to stress, I'm not some huge Zelda fanboy. I haven't cared about one since Wind Waker. Like, Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword did not do it for me. There are cool things in Skyward Sword. It looks good. But fucking A, man. This game is like, oh, Ocarina of Time was a great revolutionary thing for 3D games. Here, this is the game. This is what you saw in the art for Zelda 1 and you believed could be real.
Yes.
Yeah. God. Because Ocarina of Time, it has been a standstill since then. Like, we haven't seen this gigantic explosion of scope and...
The end of that opening trailer, where it's the Master Sword in the stone in the woods.
Yeah.
I just looked at. That's it. That's what it was. That... Fuck.
Okay. So this has been a long podcast. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully we'll be doing another podcast sometime soonish. I don't have any other words. Anybody else?
Whenever the next big conference is.
You'll at least get a quick play from us when Bloodstain
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
comes out.
Yeah.
Maybe two.
'cause-
Maybe an infinite click.
And a live stream. And a Let's Play. And a speed run.
A separate channel devoted only to playing through the Bloodstained demo over and over again.
I mean, Bob saw me do what I did with Mighty Number 9, so there's no... Dude, I'm ridiculously good at that game I hate. But, yeah. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye. And then we all lean out of frame.
That's a little far for us here and back.
Nah, Kyle's got it.
You know how long it took me to get over giving up on Nintendo? I spent months cutting that out of my heart. Now this fucking Zelda game.
GigaBoots has been brought to you by our glorious producers, Vincent Pilberg, Cywolf, and Gary Owen via our Patreon. Consider becoming a GigaBoots patron today.